Hello! It's an all new episode of Yeah, I've Played. We're continuing our discussion of Silent Hill. Not the movie, but the first game for the PS. Someone's coming in my home.
Get out.
It's the Silent Hill Ghoul. So if you haven't seen the first episode, you should go back and watch it because this is going to be stupid to watch by itself.
It'd be kind of weird.
Unless you hate like the first 2.5 hours of the game.
If you really hate like the first interaction in the school, you know what I mean, and all that shit, then just start here, I guess.
Right. Otherwise, I'm Matt Hall, and to my left are two other cis white men.
I'm Andrew Taylor,
I'm Jordan Hill.
certified cis het male.
No, we're all
I've kissed some guys.
yeah. Andrew says he hasn't.
That's true.
It might be true, yeah.
It's very
I don't
true.
know. I saw you in Austin when you were blackout at the bar the night of my roast.
He can be mistaken for a variety of different people. That Austin.
Anyway, just saying.
This long hair
It
looks
looked like a very tender moment.
Well, I'll never be able to remember it, so I guess I'm at your mercy.
I keep it in a locket. So last time around, we talked about the gameplay, sound, graphics, a little bit of background on the game, the opening where Harry Mason, who is looking for Cheryl.
Where's my daughter? Have you seen my daughter, Cheryl?
Where's my
Have
daughter?
you seen a little girl?
About 7 years old.
I'm looking for a girl named Londi. So he is going all around the vacation town, the resort town of Silent Hill. He meets a cop named Sybil Shepherd. And together, Sybil Bennett.
I know, that's what I called her the whole game. Sybil Shepherd.
Sybil Shepherd.
Because only I couldn't remember Bennett the whole time.
You go around and you're like, I gotta go here. No, now I need to go this way. But you do eventually make your way to a school as per a piece of paper you found on the ground, which is a great way to...
And it says to school.
To school.
I wonder if that's like a shine get from Super Mario Sunshine kind of translation thing.
Possibly. Or it could just be the writings of a 7-year-old.
Yeah, because it was
that's
the number
possible.
2.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't? I thought it was the number
T.O.
2. No, I'm dumb. I'm a dumb idiot.
Maybe it was. I don't think it was.
I'm 98.9%.
98 degrees.
We're going to put a screen cap in here, and if I'm right, you guys are fucking losers.
Flip them all.
Jordan's gonna. Yeah,
One of these
I
is
know.
correct.
I know you're wrong. So
I'm almost positive he's wrong too, because this is one of the ones I really got stuck on, because it's like, I'm going to the school. Why can't I get to school? Why is the game giving me a fucking sign?
it said there was 2 schools. Like there's 2 churches.
There are 2 schools and there's 2 churches. There's 2 of everything in this game, as we found out as we entered into the school and went into the other world. We had left the fog world, went to the other world. We beat the big lizard that opens his mouth, looking like very vaginal.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you do this thing. You know what I mean? That it was similar to when you're looking into that.
Put your fingers together and like show the little what's in the diaper kind of deal.
No. Like, give me your hand like this.
Oh,
I give you my hand. Yeah,
2 people double Spock, and then you look inside, and there's a. Oh my god, that's exactly what it looks like.
So
That's what the dog's mouth
If you're listening to this, good luck understanding what we're talking about.
if they're talking about your hands looks like a little pussy.
Little puss.
Oh, wait, can you do that again for a couple minutes?
Mac it over here.
So, we blasted the lizard. It dies. The room gets kind of hazy. You see a vision of the woman. We covered this last time. He says, "Who was that?
Who was that?"
And then again says, "Who was that?"
What was that? Who in the hell was that?
Was that a bug? That seems so odd.
We're unclear.
It's a weird thing that all of us got it. You know what I mean? Because if it was like one of us, you could be like, maybe it was my emulation, maybe it was my ROM. You know what I mean? But like,
I found there was also like there's a lot of moments where he'd like think something and it'd have the exact same subtitles as when he's speaking. It's like, and he'd say something similar, like, "What was that?" And then he'll say out loud, "What is going on?" You know, and it's like, this is confusing.
so it could have been an instance of that.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about how the line reads are kind of intentionally awkward, but this is awkward in a different way.
Yeah.
Anyway, I see what is the K. Gordon key on the ground in front of me.
Yeah.
I'm now in the fog world version of the school. It's daylight again, and in case you don't know from last time, I'm reading my notes for the ease of discussion. But these guys are going to chime in about their experiences, and we'd love to hear about yours down in the comments as well.
Let us know.
Not really. I'm not going
Don't
to fucking read that
Don't
shit.
call us pedophile Discord mods though, or do because it was really funny.
That's a reference to a comment we got. I have actually used
Reddit.
some IP tracing software. I'm going to pay that person a visit
Exactly.
in a very unfriendly manner.
We'll SWAT them.
No. I'm going to
okay.
be doing it myself, but I am going to be wearing full SWAT gear.
For protection.
E-SWAT, actually.
Electronic SWAT. It's got
It's got cat ears
RGB
on it.
It's got RGB.
I don't think you guys know what E-SWAT is.
Apparently no.
It's okay.
assumed electronic swatting.
Well,
I figured it was
it'll be a visual gag here.
I thought it was like e-girls.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I will have 2 e-girls with me.
For backup.
the 2 most buff ones I can find. So the Kim Gordon key. You bring it back, you go out into a house, which you thought it was the same house that you
I think
exited before.
Jordan
but
and I both.
The
I
thought so,
layout's a
too.
little different, and the items in there are different. And that's why I was like, oh, it can't be the same house.
I noticed it was a little different. I assumed it was just something changed.
The part I'm not remembering, the part that would confirm it, is if when you're inside, the back door has the 3 locks on it.
Yeah, I don't
I didn't
recall.
see that.
I don't remember, and if I don't remember, then I honestly don't think it was there. So I
Yeah.
think it was a different house, but I thought it was the same house.
I thought it was, but there were things that also changed. So it's like, well, who changed it? 'Cause
Yeah, like the
everybody's
notepad's
gone.
in a different spot for the
Yeah,
saving.
there's some different
and
items around. So it's, I guess we'll say, it's fucking vague, but also, what is it in this game? It's now daytime again. I hear a church bell, and I head over to the Balkan Church. What does that mean?
Balkan? It's like the Balkan Peninsula, right?
Right,
That's what I was
do they,
assuming.
do
I have
they
no
like,
idea.
do they, is it like for Balkan refugees?
I don't know. I assumed.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like, why is it the Balkan Church? I don't
hear
know. Is that like a religion, or do they have a special religion
I don't
over
know.
there?
Maybe the Balkans is like, maybe that has religious significance. I don't remember that from Catholic
just thought it
school
was a
or religion
location.
class, you know what I mean?
I thought it was a place in the world.
It could also just be like, I don't know. I was going to say, like, maybe it's just like Japanese people not knowing.
Oh, I'm looking it up.
American churches, but also like there's a
Balkan
big
Church.
Catholic
Top result is Silent Hill Wiki.
So it's only in Silent Hill, likely.
There's also a Balkan Baptist Church in Balkan, Kentucky.
Okay, that makes sense.
There's a YouTube video called Balkans Go to Church, where the Balkan family goes to church. And there's BalkanReach.org that has an essay on reflections on the Balkan Church in Petrovac, Montenegro. So that's from July.
Checking out. Checking out on this one.
So I guess it's just the name of the fucking church.
I think they just picked a name.
I was just curious because, like, I don't know where the Balkans are. It's the Balkans, right? It's like that's what the place is called.
Peninsula.
I think it's the Balkan Strait.
Straight.
Well, what's the difference?
I don't
George.
know.
Isn't
Were
a
there
strait a body
islands
of
or
water?
something? Yeah.
See,
So
we're
I don't know.
Americans, if you can't tell.
We don't know these things.
I'm confused because what I wanted to know is like it because
We all
the
live-
person you meet here, I wanted to know, is she like a Balkan person?
A Balkanite, I think
I don't know
is
what
what
they're
they're
called.
referred
I don't
to
even know if
as.
that's like a place that people come from. I don't know what it is.
It's a Balkanian.
The Balkans, also known as the Balkan Peninsula, is a geographic area in southeastern Europe.
So it is just a place. It's not a. It's not a type of.
The region takes its
area.
name from the Balkan Mountains that stretch through the whole of Bulgaria.
Do you think? Well, okay.
You can stretch my Balkan mountains.
I'm going to see if there's anything like religious
Stretch
history.
my balls.
Can I crack open a
History
cold
area.
one?
Yeah,
History
sure.
and geopolitical significance.
Matt, this might be a little controversial, but today I'm drinking a little Yachak yerba mate. It's plant-based energy tea. Controversial because usually we
What
have
are the ingredients?
yeah. You're gonna bum yourself out. But usually we're drinking Guyaki yerba mate on this show because they are our proud sponsor, and they're not actually because I'm lying. But I got these Yachaks for free, and that's why I'm drinking them instead of paying for a Guyaki. Otherwise, I'd be drinking some nice Guyaki
I'm also drinking a gyaki.
yerba mate. This just smells like a cat box. I know there's a cat box in our vicinity
No,
here.
it does have a
but
very
this-
weird smell.
This
As soon
has
as I picked up the can, it was a little unsettling.
Mamma mia. Well, hopefully it'll give me that sweet caffeine.
All right.
It's not really. It seems like there's some historical significance there, but
Okay. And hey, we just did a 5-minute section of the Shiv video where we looked at the info on the Balkans, and we have no more understanding than we did before. So I entered the church, and it was pretty easy to get to the church. I was like, oh.
compared to like how grueling, and not grueling, but like how much trial and error was involved with like getting to the school. I was
the
surprised
school
that I was
and
more or
the
less
house.
able to just kind of go to the
I was
church.
like, I'll go up and take a right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, can't go this way. There's only like 1 or 2 dead ends if you really like fucking try
Yeah,
to explore.
and I already marked them all on my map, so
Yeah.
I was like, it was fine. So I entered the church. I saw a strange woman. She greeted me and told me that our meeting was predicted by gyromancy.
It's heromancy?
I was gonna say heromancy.
Heromancy. Uh-huh.
No.
The craft.
She knew I wanted the girl, Cheryl, and she told me some cryptic bullshit, and then I needed to quickly get to the hospital.
Wow.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
I think that's like nearly verbatim what I said in my notes as well. Some cryptic
and
bullshit.
as much as I was like, oh,
Cryptic metaphor.
God, is this how this game is written? It totally plays into she's doing this on purpose to fuck with you.
Yeah, she's being,
Yeah, because I found it really frustrating that like it's clear from like really this point that like she does know everything that's going on, or at least she knows way more than you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she just won't. She just won't.
Right,
tell
because
you.
she's playing your ass.
Yeah, she's just giving you like really small bits of information and being like, oh, yeah.
She's obscuring everything and then being like, and then being like, at the end of it, be like, and if you want to know the rest, you'll have to go to this place.
Yeah.
And then
Like,
she
cool.
literally walks out. Mm-hmm. Which is also frustrating because like that does.
It's really not dramatic. She's like all cryptic and like spooky. You expect like smoke, and then she's gone.
No,
Or,
she's
like, she
turns
phases out. She's just like
slowly.
All right, see ya.
And Harry doesn't even be like, wait, what? He
Or,
just
like,
like
pulling
watches
on
her
her.
leave, and then he's like, oh, she got away. What did that mean? It's like she's in the next room. Go stop her.
I picked up a Floros. Faluros. Oh, George Floros.
Yeah,
That's
George.
what everyone's always talking about.
Yeah,
He's
it's-
the one who writes our checks for us.
Yeah. It was just like a weird pyramid thing.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what this is.
And
I
I
put it in my
also
pocket.
noticed-
And I never used it in the rest of the game.
Yes. Oh, never mind.
Maybe you didn't.
I never used it. The rest, I kept
It
waiting.
has a special use later.
All right. I kept trying to use it.
Yeah,
it looks
it
cool.
doesn't. It's one of the only items that you pick up that doesn't give you the option use. Like you can select it.
That's right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like every other item you can select and hit use, and it'll be like no use for that right now or whatever. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But this one, there is no use.
Yeah,
option.
it's triggered by a cutscene later in the game if you do a certain action.
if you've done
It reminded me
everything
of the. It kind of looked like the.
you did shit wrong.
I blew it. It reminded me of the Millennium Pyramid or whatever from Yu-Gi-Oh. Do you remember that shit?
Yeah.
It looked like that.
Picture that here. I didn't watch that.
I knew. That's why I directed it. The reference to Jordan.
Or
I was like, "There's no way Matt's gonna know what this is."
Played the card game once.
The
Yeah, I had a
manga.
bunch
The
of
manga's
cards.
neat. It's very different from the kids
Yeah, the
show.
kid show is just a kid show. You know what I mean?
The manga.
Manga's a little darker.
Manga's for adults.
That's right. He's killing. He's killing guys. He's
I
killing
mean, it was
guys.
like a kids WB yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that era of like mid 2000s Americanized anime stuff was usually pretty boring to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, she said I need to go to the hospital.
Go Gosbo.
I watched them.
Did you enjoy
I
those?
watched all of them. It turns out I've seen one of them.
Oh,
and
which
it was
one?
the pork chop sandwich. That was the one that I've seen before.
That's the famous
Oh, it
one.
smells good. It smells good in here. Oh, what the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck out of here.
Jordan had never seen the Fensler film G.I. Joe's, which is just crazy because it
Somehow.
just seems like you would really enjoy it.
And I did.
And it's like from when you were active online.
It's from like literally the era that I was watching videos like that. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like that was peak me watching shitty online,
Yeah.
animations and stuff. So I don't know how I missed it.
Well, I'm glad you finally.
Thank you.
I had those on a CDR as like MPEGs that I could like put in my
fucking
DVD player at the time. Could like play MPEG
140,
files.
140p. Like
Yeah,
it's
probably.
full motion, fucking blown out aspect ratio blown.
Yeah, well, someone had gone through in recent years and taken clean clips and put the audio to. You know, those videos looked like shit when they came out. Yeah,
Yeah.
like nobody had like good VHS rips of that show. Or,
Yeah.
Anyway,
I was watching Teenage Mutant.
that's also
Turtles.
very good.
Very good.
Teenage Mutant
Lasagna Cat was
Turtles.
less. There was less good. There was less less of them were funny to me. It was
It's
funny.
much more dry.
Yes, but like less of them were funny to me. You know
That's
what I mean?
that's fair. Well, anyway, we had a nice time talking about memes, and then
But
I want to take me to the hospital. I also got a drawbridge key from the church. Mm-hmm. I went to the hospital. First, I had to lower the drawbridge. And I said, great, what kind of cryptic bullshit am I going to have to do here? Oh, I just put the key in. Fucking lower the drawbridge.
This is also when I found like the first...
The rock drill.
Yeah, the first item that like you can't get in this playthrough. Like you have to do a new fear or whatever.
Yeah.
Because you need...
you're saying you
gas
found
for
it
the
the
drill
second
was
time.
actually in
no, I
Zack
found it the first
McCracken.
time, but I couldn't pick it up. It was just like a rock drill. Fuck off. A rock
I
drill.
missed it. I missed your funny quip there.
There's between Maniac Mansion and Zack McCracken, there's like a chainsaw and gasoline, and like it's just a dumb adventure game joke where it's like, oh, the item I need to use this item is actually stuck in a different game. Shit. That's all.
But it was, it's just like, oh, looks like you need gasoline to be powered. And I'm like, I haven't found any gas. And I was half like, maybe I'll find gas.
I was gassed from running through Silent Hill.
There's
Yeah.
plenty of kerosene left.
That's not.
That's a Resident Evil joke for you.
Yes, well. Can a chainsaw run on kerosene?
No, chainsaws actually run on like a mix of gas and something else.
Have you tried it?
Magic?
No. It's something else.
Willpower?
It might be oil. Or
Do you
like,
need you need oil for the drill?
It's a rock drill, so it's more like a jackhammer.
I was saying chainsaw because it's a different game.
Yeah.
But there is also a chainsaw you can get in Silent Hill, I believe.
I think
Jesus, really?
Yeah. But
Christ.
there's several, like, there's also like an alien zap gun.
You have to get the ending.
I certainly wasn't being my usual thorough self when playing this game, but it seems like they really hit a lot of
No,
content
some of the
in
stuff
this.
too is like you have to play through the new fear mode.
Okay.
Because you get access to a couple different
Yeah, it's the same thing in Resident Evil, where it's like there's a lot of stuff, Chicago typewriter, shit where you need to play on your New Game Plus to experience it.
Yeah.
All right.
Which is a staple of these games, but so rarely do I ever want to play them twice. Even though
Yeah.
they're really good. Resident Evil 4 is the only one where I've been like, shit, I gotta fucking play this again.
Yeah.
And it rips every time.
I had
game
that
does
same
rip.
feeling with Silent Hill, but I haven't gotten very far in the new fear.
I'm not going
Mostly 'cause
back,
I've also
fellas.
tried
I'm
to
sorry.
play, Resident Evil.
I'm loving Resident Evil. I'm never going back to Silent
It's
Hill,
fun.
the first one. I'm
I
sorry.
haven't gone very far, but
You are playing the remake though. I do
Yeah.
wonder. I'd like to eventually play through the PS1 Resident Evil and see how it stacks up because
I feel like I'm not going to enjoy it as much.
I feel like I wouldn't either. Because I mean,
Well,
there's stuff that I still bitch about in the HD remake of Silent
Yeah.
Hill, and I can only imagine that it's worse in the PlayStation version.
oh, you of Resident Evil?
Yes, you
Yeah,
know what I'm
sorry.
trying to say.
Yeah.
I'm fucking it up.
There's so many goddamn remakes of everything. Holy shit! Of things these days. I don't know if that was on camera, but Matt's cats.
I think she just took a shit and then ran away.
She smelled so bad she was afraid of it. No, she's like, you gotta check this out, and she grabbed the other cat. Look at this huge
Anyway,
loaf that I left here.
You couldn't get the rock drill. I also found a map to the shopping district. So now I've left the residential area, whatever it's called.
it was just like Silent Hill
Old
proper
Silent Hill?
or something.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Or it might have been Old Silent Hill.
Oh, the initial map?
Yeah.
You don't remember what that.
It might
The
have
second
been
one.
the town of Silent Hill.
Yeah, the
And then
second
Because then
one-
you get into like shopping district and like resort area. You know what I mean? And
Right. So anyway, I found the map. I headed out to explore the new area. First, I stopped at the police station that had some notes about a plant that was possibly being used to manufacture a strange drug. And they didn't see any evidence of the drug like being distributed outside of Silent Hill. It was like a native plant.
Oh,
It had like
okay.
a psychoactive properties. Did you guys find this?
Yeah.
you went into the police station?
Yeah.
I don't remember going into the police station. I might not have.
I had to go around and like the first
Because I
like
tried
when you
to
first
go-
see it you can't get in and then you go around there's like a door on the side and you go in and it's like there's just ammo and
Yeah.
items and
I
stuff
saw
and some
the
story stuff.
I saw the first door. It told me I couldn't get in, and there was like 4 of those dog gimps around me.
Oh my
And I was
God.
like, not doing this right now, and I just ran away.
There was never more than one on screen and easy.
Yeah.
It's like just
In
one
normal,
guy.
there was like always at least 2. If you ran into one, there was a second one, and it was terrifying because you'd see one like go behind you, and then it would like another one would like come into the foreground really
Yeah.
close to camera, and I'm like, fuck.
I eventually reached the hospital and I heard distant gunshots from somewhere in the building. So I go down the hall, I bump into Dr. Michael Kaufman, and I said, "Don't shoot me." And it really looked like he still shot at me.
Yeah.
Also, it kind of looked like his gun just kind of went poof, and
Yeah.
like just like
I
powder
thought he
came
did
out.
shoot at you because you like duck also.
Don't
you?
The angle looks like you got it in the
go
gut. It really looks
it
like it
doesn't-
blasted you.
It looks like he just point blank shoots you.
Yeah.
Mano, I wish you weren't on the table. I've given up. She's not getting down.
Yeah.
we have a squirt bottle.
I saw you.
Full of squirt soda.
Uh-huh.
So if we can't, we use like
Mellow yellow.
Slice. Yeah. No. We have a little spray bottle, and
Surge.
you can just go like, and she's like,
Fucking
I don't care.
really?
Sluggo gets terrified.
He
of the
looked.
bottle.
I heard him hear it the other night, and he ran.
When you made that noise, he looked over at you.
sorry,
He's
baby.
looking upset right now.
He's also younger, so it's probably
Hi.
more ingrained in
Hello,
him.
Papa. Come here, little daddy. Okay, no. Anyway, I call him little daddy because YouTuber and dog trainer Peter Kane would call himself him and his girlfriend. She'd call him like little daddy, and he'd be like, "You want little daddy to take you shopping today?" And it's a joke. It's a character,
Oh, okay.
but
Okay.
it's been stuck in my head because I think it's so fucking
Is
stupid.
that a real
I thought those were just real
interaction
cringe
between
people.
a couple?
No, the joke is that it is an insufferable, like, weirdo simp guy.
Oh, hi, kitten.
Hey, Dad.
It's so nice to see you.
I missed you. Did you bring me anything?
I sure did, kitten. Why don't you sit down on little daddy's lap?
Anyway, I go, "Don't shoot me," and he's like, "What?" And I think he said something like, "I'm human. Come on."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Okay, well, I was taking a nap and I woke up and everything was fucked." And
Wow.
and I was like, and so we're talking for a minute. I'm like, "Did you see a little girl?" And he's like, "Oh man,
She's probably dead.
sucks you lost your daughter."
Yeah, he's pretty much
And then
like
he says,
you're probably not going to find your fucking dog.
this is
Yeah.
not verbatim, but he says, "Well, I can't waste any more time. See ya," and just walks out.
Just leaves.
My immediate thought was, this guy also knows something because Sybil, I think, and I are on the same page because she's
Yeah.
like, it's dangerous. I don't know if I want you going out there. Like I'm trying to be an authority figure here because
Yeah.
I'm armed, I'm trained, but like even I feel kind of scared.
Yeah. And like I'm not like Sybil's even like I don't know if I should go back out there.
Yeah.
I'm trying
Yeah.
she's trying to get back to her town so that she can fucking get out of here.
Dahlia
get,
also seems in
back up.
control of the situation. Not that she's controlling the situation, but I mean to say like she's like, I'm in
Aware.
control. I get it. This is good. I'm gonna
Yep.
walk out into the streets unscathed somehow. And then Coffin also is just like, well, this is awful, but I'm heading out. And it's just like being like, I can't waste any more time.
He has like a
It's
briefcase.
yeah.
Like he just like strolls out. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I didn't think he was a doctor, but he is. He's Dr.
Yeah, Dr.
He's,
Kaufman.
he's like head of something there. And it's like I never see a doctor wear like a black suit
Yeah, that's fair.
to work. Like I never see a doctor wear a suit to work ever.
He's a business doctor.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I've never seen that. Unless he's like maybe like on the board. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, I could see
Maybe he's
that.
the chief of medicine,
Maybe.
you know? Who knows?
Maybe.
Doesn't matter really.
No, I thought he was like I mean, to me, he was like an allusion to the Kyle, whatever his character from Twin Peaks. It's like, I was wearing the suit.
Oh yeah, 'cause
Thought he
he's
was,
the
or like a
FBI.
Man in Black type character. I just felt like they were going for some sort of like archetype they'd seen in other media,
Yep.
rather than like a doctor.
Yeah, that's fair. Because he doesn't really come across as a doctor.
No, and I was confused later when he identified himself as a doctor. Like, what? That's a doctor? I thought he was like an FBI agent or something.
Yeah. Or like he was just like visiting somebody. And
Yeah.
He was a.
I mean, he was
PI.
also on vacation.
He was also everyone's
Right.
on vacation. He's in the resort town.
Yeah, so the fact that he just walked out, just like
Real casual.
saying, I can't waste any more time here.
Yeah, like he's got somewhere to be. That isn't.
But he was
not-
napping.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, also, who takes a nap in like an exam room at work
Yeah.
Yeah.
in a suit? I was like, this is fishy. So
I'm beat.
I'm walking around on the ground. I see a vial of red liquid that was shattered.
was-
Earlier,
It was a Gorilla.
I don't think I knew that yet, but it
Oh,
was.
okay.
Yeah, they don't tell you what it is.
They were just
Okay.
like, what is this?
Yeah.
And so,
What is this?
Broken glass. Yeah, eating it. Broken bottle, broken glass, just rubbing his hands in it.
crunch. There was as we mentioned before, there's a plastic bottle in the kitchen. And I said, I've seen this before. Mm-hmm. Put that liquid in the bottle. Mm-hmm. Of course, video game logic determines any liquid can go in any bottle if you have an empty vessel.
This is
I
all
like
you
to
need is the
imagine him
vessel.
doing it is like he squeezes it, puts it against the ground, and then like lets go.
Just
So it's
sucks it all up.
I was gonna say because like logically,
It was shattered. It was spilled on the floor.
yeah, I don't know how you'd get that into
Fucking
You could maybe get a tiny bit, but I don't know how you'd get any sort of a substantial amount in there.
No, and you do get a substantial amount.
Yeah, you get enough to where like you can see it in the bottle now when it's in your inventory.
So you guys both grabbed it?
Yeah, I grabbed it.
I did not grab it.
No?
Well, that's
I-
why.
I had the water bottle. I think in any other video game with this setup, I would have understood that that's. But I was like, considering that's a physical impossibility, I was like, I didn't
hear
even
you.
think
It's a
that.
classic adventure game trope to
Yeah.
go, oh, there's a liquid that needs to be contained. I'll put it in an empty bottle. How it gets in there
With
is
some
video game logic.
context like that, I do think it's fair, but I did not have that. So I, was
just
just
kinda
like,
thought
weird fucking thing on the floor,
Red
I guess.
liquid. It seems like I probably need to pick this up. I've
sh-
got
yeah.
a bottle.
I should have
put it in
also
the
been.
bottle?
I should have included
Yeah.
also because it zooms in and it has a unique little thing. Otherwise, I would have said this is fucking.
That's what I mean.
something
If it was
spilled
just
on the floor,
on
it
the
doesn't
ground,
matter.
I would have ignored it like all the other blood and viscera all over the place.
Yeah. So this was. I'll take half responsibility for this one, but I will maintain there's absolutely no logical way that you could just take those two objects and combine them
it.
together.
There's no logical way you can do anything you do in this game. Way to go, Sluggo.
You didn't knock anything down.
That was pretty cool.
It was impressive.
So, I think there was some sort of weird elevator puzzle or some shit, because I couldn't get anywhere. I'm going in the basement. Gotta restart the elevator.
Careful.
Going up and down. No, don't take that side of context. Finally, I go in.
Careful.
I'm like, 1 floor, 2 floor, 3 floor. And then it's like, what? There's a 4th floor suddenly? That appeared?
This one got Jordan. He was pissed.
This is other than trying to Google strategies for the final boss, this is the only thing I Googled to be like, what the fuck do I do?
I don't know how I discovered it, but I did.
I mean, I once I read that there was a 4th floor that pops up, I was like, I
Yeah.
fucking saw the 4th floor, but in my head, you look at the map, and I'm like, I've covered everything on the map.
Oh.
I kept doing that. I'd go back to, because the 4th floor doesn't appear on the map until you go to the 4th floor.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at my map and I'm like, I've covered everything. Like I've hit every fucking stop in this hospital.
So you're like,
every
what?
room that I can get into says I got into it.
It's like, what is the problem?
Well, when you enter the 4th floor, you get a cutscene of a lady walking to the antique shop, which is a spot I tried to go into earlier because it's marked on
you were
red in the
gone.
map and it's locked. She walks, it's like you gotta go down a flight of stairs. It's like, below street level. She's walking so fucking slow into that antique shop.
You got to be careful. There's a lot of antiques in there.
Yeah, you gotta
You're
be
a
very
bold
careful,
attraction, I guess.
cautious.
She's like, I better walk slow on my way in so I'm ready and moving at the right speed when I finally get in.
She had to slow
gotta-
herself
you
down.
gotta
She
get
had a
in
lot
the
of
zone.
She had a slower momentum. She was
So,
really powerful.
That 4th floor looked like a portal to the other world because it started like looking similar to the school. It had the grime and the the orangey rusty colors. So I worked through the hospital. I found 4 plates which were used to open a door, which led into even deeper and stranger depths of the hospital. And this is where you first find the puppet nurses and the puppet doctors, which are kind of like a prototype version of the famous Silent Hill nurses you'll see later.
I didn't realize that's what they were called, but that makes sense with the way that they move because they're almost moving like marionettes a little bit.
Yeah. And they have like a, this is something that doesn't really get fully explained or discussed in the game, but they appear to have a parasite in their back.
Yeah, they have some sort of. I mean, it's like it doesn't fully get explained, but you see other parasite. You know what I mean? Later in the game.
Right, but it's never
So,
addressed like how that
no.
ties into everything.
No,
Every
they get more into it in Resident Evil 4, but
every
Las Plagas.
every alt girl going to high school in 2006 was like did a cosplay of the,
Oh,
the
at least
sexy
once,
Silent
yeah, yeah.
Hillers. Like
I saw
every single
a
one.
local drag troupe in in Trinity Park next to the now deceased Bagel Pit do
Long
like a
deceased.
6-person like
Trinity Park is not near the Bagel Pit.
not Trinity Park the
Arts
West
Park?
Telcom stage
Oh, okay, yep.
on like where the stage was where there's no longer a stage. And they had like strobe lights and they were like doing like a Silent Hill like Halloween dance. It was
Sounds
it was
cool.
part of like a festival.
Did
Yeah.
you bust?
Did you watch it? How was
Yeah,
it?
was I masturbating in the park while they did this?
Yeah, could they see you?
No, they couldn't see me. It was
So
nighttime. They
did
were
you-
like lighting with strobe lights.
So did you bust?
No, I got too scared to bust, but I did. I did go home and come later
Like super
because I was
hard,
jerking. I was jerking
like
off in
ropes.
the park.
You were charging it
You were
up.
just edging the whole time.
You're
Yes.
filling the meter, and then you got home and unleashed.
just like in a house party.
Yeah,
You had to fill up your
cum meter. Matt just heard some pissing sound. Matt's cats are always pissing all around.
This is also where you find the emergency hammer, the big hammer, the
I didn't.
fire axe looking hammer.
I did not.
You didn't find it?
No, I remember when we talked about it in the first episode when we were going through the
Prior
weapons
to
and
the
stuff.
episode.
Yes. What?
No, I don't think it was on camera.
That wasn't on camera?
No.
Oh,
Not-
okay.
not the initial
I never
discussion.
found the.
It was because a lot of that was me looking up and seeing that people have been arguing about what the
Oh,
app
yeah.
object actually is for like 15 years.
I didn't find this though. I didn't have this the
Because
whole game.
it looks like there is
Background?
like a fire axe in other games, and then this is like a hammery sort of thing in some models, more of a flat axe thing in other pictures of it, and then the end is like the sharp
pick
you know,
on the back of a fire
yeah.
axe. Yeah.
So it's a confusing thing,
It's emergency hammer.
but it is a great item. This was
It's an
what I used-
emergency. I need a two-handed hammer.
I wish
use
I
this
had
a lot.
I wish I had found it because this really would have helped with like one of the next big boss fights that you get into. Maybe like the 2 boss fights away, I think.
Maybe
Because
I
I,
never
had
used-
to go through that entire boss fight using melee weapons. and
Was it
probably would've been better if
superior?
I had the strongest.
I think it was the best.
That was the best one.
I think.
It seems significant. Did that work? It worked better than the pipe.
Oh yeah,
right.
it had a little better range and seemed stronger.
Fuck yeah.
I also found a VHS tape which I played on the 3rd floor, and it was confusing as hell. Did you guys go back to the TV and play the VHS
I
tape?
sure did.
Yeah,
because I thought I had to.
It was like half garbled,
Yeah.
and static, and it was
Also,
not
it's just
good.
a static image.
But
Yeah.
we'll revisit that later.
That's not a video. That's a picture.
It was actually a video. It was just a tripod shot. The person was just very
And not
still.
moving. The static even was
So
just a bokeh.
It was static.
I eventually
Static
made
Shock?
my way down
The static
to
was
the
static.
first floor. I bumped into Nurse Garland, Lisa
Lisa?
Garland.
Lisa!
We're discussing the situation.
Lisa Trevor.
I black out. It's just so embarrassing when you meet a hot girl and you black out.
It happens to me, and then your nose starts bleeding.
He came, the second she touched you, you came and started farting.
I woke up in the Fog World Hospital, no longer in the Other World Hospital.
Wait, what?
And the lady, Dahlia Gillespie, which I don't know her name yet, the lady from the church is there now. I find out her name is Dahlia Gillespie.
right now.
She says I was too late. She mentions the mark of Samael and tells me not to let it happen.
And she says, "Oh, I am Dahlia Gillespie."
I am suspecting that my child is being used as a sacrifice for some sort of weird cult at this point.
I picked up on that pretty soon. Yeah.
There's a key
What
to the
with
antique
the
shop.
black
that-
robes and the and the secrecy and the,
And the demons. And
the
the
demons.
when she
Yeah.
left, so Andrew said he
Oh, is this
so
the
she leaves
moment?
you a key on the desk. To get
Oh yeah,
into
you
the
didn't
antique
fucking.
shop. And you said you got all the way to the antique shop and had to go back because you didn't see this.
I did not. Yeah, and
But-
this is probably what
Well,
I'm gonna say. This is probably on like half on me, maybe half on the game too.
It was
yeah.
really obvious.
I don't
She
know.
goes like this,
She's like
holds it up,
She pulls out the key.
it glistens, and then she slowly sets it down on the desk. And I will say, in the game, and I have footage of it, you barely see it on the desk. It's
Yeah.
It's like 3 pixels,
at
man.
like an angle, so
Yeah.
like you can't see it. It is like 2 or 3 pixels
From the main shot, does maybe when you get over to the desk, it gives
Not
you a
really.
closer
No,
shot?
you
No?
really cannot see it on the desk. You just
Alright.
have to. You
And
just
I
have to go.
I
hit
looked
A
at this
next
on
to
CRT filters, see if it like it bloomed differently. It is not. I think it's a
There's
thing.
like-
It's one of the things where the game is trying to be a little secrecy. And if you're not paying attention, then you fucked up.
Yeah,
I
like
was-
if
I
you
think
skip
I was
the
not.
cutscene, or if you didn't watch the cutscene, because you can skip most of these cutscenes.
Yeah,
Which I did on accident for the church scene with Dahlia Gillespie, and then had to look it up on YouTube.
and I
'Cause I was like,
that's
"Fuck,
right.
did I miss anything?" And then I was like,
Yeah.
"Didn't really miss anything."
But no, I had gotten all the way to the antique shop, and it's like you don't have the fucking key, and I was like,
Dumb bastard.
I was like, I'm a dumb bastard. I kind of half thought, like, you'd think, I don't know, a lot of games now, especially if it's in a cutscene, it's like, this is the key item that I give to you. Usually it just is in your inventory.
Hey, Harry Mason, it's me, Sybil. I'm going to be guiding you all the way to the antique shop. Now, watch out. There's some dog games coming up. Oh, no. Lost signal there for a moment, buddy. All right, keep heading to the antique shop.
What is that?
That's how a modern game would handle
Oh,
the relationship
okay,
with
yeah.
Sybil.
Even fucking Majora's Mask was doing that when you were playing it last night.
Hey, Harry, be sure to press X to run.
Every now and then, like even like you're fighting Majora, and like the fairies were like, make sure to use Z targeting to attack, or like there was one thing that kept popping up.
Oh, they give you tips. Yeah. Well, it's just like because if you hit them, they give you like a tip where it's just like you're fighting this enemy, you get to the enemy, and if
Oh, I
it's
thought
a
that
new
was-
enemy you haven't fought.
I thought that
or
was
if it-
proccing randomly, and it was just
No,
like
no,
letting
no.
you know.
Every time you get to an enemy, if
So
you
it's proccing?
if you Z
Yeah.
target,
Never heard that term.
I don't know what that means either. If you Z
made it
target
up.
and then hit the button, like the fairy button flashes, and you hit up and you talk to the fairy will be like, this is this enemy. It does this, so be careful. You know what I mean? Or like, it does this. You're familiar with that, you know what I mean? Or like, try doing this to defeat it, you know?
All right.
Like, it gives you a hint
Oh.
on how to fight it, basically.
Procking, facilitating a hookup, promoting the cock, the opposite of cock blocking. You're promoting the cock.
You're
this
not
Urban
supposed to.
Dictionary?
You're not supposed to. This, yeah, your urban. This supposed to be Urban Dictionary. It's a real term.
It's not a Merriam-Webster
I'm
definition.
I'm assuming it's an abbreviation of a longer word or phrase that means like usually it's random chance or is instigated by. Like it's something we used in World of Warcraft. a lot.
Provoking?
Maybe. Can you look it up?
I
Can you
did look it
like-
up. That's what came up.
Did you spell it Prock?
Yes.
We always said PROCC maybe? I can't remember. It was like you say you assign a talent point to a thing that has a 30% chance to make a bat shoot out of you to attack your enemy. You asked what the fuck it means.
Proc and
I didn't.
procking in gaming.
I actually didn't.
This is
I
from
just-
LifeWire. If you are participating in an online multiplayer game, you might see people use the term proc. The acronym is not easy to figure out. What is definition of proc? How proc is used? Proc is a computer game term that rhymes with doc. Proc is used as both a noun and a verb to describe whenever a random game item activates or random gaming event occurs.
Is it it's an abbreviation or it's an acronym? Is that what you said?
It's just a made-up word, it looks like.
They have no origin or explanation. Somebody just started saying it. Not that that's impossible.
Programmed random occurrence.
Oh, big brain. I used it appropriately then.
Did you? I don't even
Yeah.
remember the context in which you used it.
I thought
He thought
the
the fairies were just randomly
were
giving you tips.
yeah, like
Oh, they're
like it was just like, and you. I almost felt like I felt like you were just like, okay, yeah, I already know. And you're just like slamming through it. It's just one of those things where it's like, watch out for the enemies that's in front of you.
Well-
And it's just like, oh yeah.
Let's talk about Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Enough proc talk. Unless it's proctology talk.
There's a little bit of that
In
in
which
this
case, boys,
game. Let's go.
So weird scene, but also the game, you know, the devs did mention they do want some stuff to be
Difficult.
obscured, yeah, and like,
Okay.
you know, the kind of thing where it's like you do need to use your brain and you can't just like coast through this game.
you kind of have to pay attention to
You got to pick up the key that they give you.
Yes.
How am I? You're eyeing my mic. Am I right in there? I can't see it.
It's inside of your shirt.
Inside of my shirt.
I didn't see your mic, that's why I was
It's in
looking.
between your collar and your neck.
Is that all right?
I don't know. It was just.
I don't
like-
know.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looked like it had disappeared. That's
If
why
it
I was-
hasn't moved at all, then
There have been several instances where it has fallen off.
Yeah,
You
me
know?
or just in general.
At least once with you. Yeah. It falls off the clip.
But we're all responsible for each other here because I can't see down there.
I couldn't see it. That's why I was curious. I was
Right.
going, what? Did that disappear?
I go
So, much like Andrew's mic almost disappeared, I disappeared down the steps into the antique shop.
listening to your favorite Metallica song, I Disappear.
A key to the antique shop was left on the desk. I grabbed it. I headed over there. I found a hole in the wall behind a shelf. Just then, as I'm going into the hole, Sybil, the cop from earlier, showed up. She said she saw a girl heading toward the lake. She wasn't sure if it was Sybil.
if it was Cheryl,
Cheryl.
I'm not sure if Sybil.
It might have
but
been
Sybil
me.
saw Cheryl. Maybe.
But, like, of course, she's like, I've never seen her before. And Harry's like, you let her get away? No, what? And it's like, look, man, I don't even know your daughter.
Yeah.
Also, like, I tried.
What am
went
I?
after her. She was gone.
What
Like,
am I, a
didn't-
police officer? Oh, he was kind of unnecessarily giving her shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's like, sorry, I'm in a fucked up nightmare world full of monsters, and a person, like, I think I saw disappeared into a lake.
Yeah, along with the other ghost children I've seen running
who have
around
tried to
here,
kill me.
I maybe saw your ghost daughter.
Because
she's dead.
Probably.
I ask about Gillespie, and Sybil's like, she must be on drugs. Which is a great line.
Because just drugs just do that to you.
Yeah, drugs will do that.
And she said that they
drugs.
give drugs to the tourists, but cops can't find any leads on the drug case, which lines up with what I read in the files at the police station.
Yeah, that was because I skipped the police station. It was a little bit confusing when later you find like more information on the drugs, and I'm
Somehow
like,
I read that,
it seems
but
like I'm missing a little bit of context here.
I have no recollection of going to the police station, but
There's
I
other stuff
recall...
about the plant.
Okay, maybe I read it
yeah.
somewhere else, because I do remember reading about
They
that.
bring it up like 3 or 4 times throughout the game. So I ask about the other world, if she knows what I mean about, like, it feels like a dream, but it's weird.
He was kind of vulnerable.
And scary.
He's like, is there, like, another world? It's like I'm dreaming.
It's like a spin-off of The Cosby Show,
This is...
right? Isn't Another World?
I don't know that one.
You lost me.
Okay.
I don't know that one. I didn't watch
think
The
it's. I
Cosby
think it's
Show.
where the daughter goes to college.
Oh, okay. I know about like what is it? The Golden Girls spinoff. You know what I mean? God, it's like the gold. It's a whole. They get like a hotel.
The Hulk?
The Golden Hotel, and like Don Cheadle and Cheech Marin are in it.
What?
Huh?
Sounds like a good
No,
time.
another world. Is a TV soap opera.
That's not a spin-off to The Cosby Show.
It's a different world. It's, it's
okay.
about Denise Huxtable.
Oh, that was a spinoff of The Cosby Show?
Yeah,
I definitely saw a couple episodes of that
It's
growing
Denise
up.
Huxtable going to college.
Okay, I guess I never saw The Cosby Show, so that's why.
Oh,
But I definitely
Same
saw a
here,
couple
yeah.
episodes of Different World.
it's okay. It's all really fine. It's
Yeah.
just like 80s.
It's no
sitcom
Family
writing.
Matters.
It's really not that different.
I know.
It's all kind of the same shit.
I know.
It's feel-good nonsense that sometimes tries to teach you a lesson. So she's like, I have no idea what you're talking about, Harry Mason.
Yeah, which is a little bit I can't tell if she's gaslighting you or if she's dead ass, like you're the only one experiencing this nightmare realm.
Yeah, I think she's trying to be sensitive to your state, but she's like, what? Anyway,
Yeah.
I go in the hole, and Sybil says that she'll back me up. We have a little back and forth about who should go in the hole, but I'm like, I'm going in the hole.
I hated this. I think I talked about this off camera, but I was just like, she's a police officer. Let her go. She's a trained professional in this kind of weird scenario.
But Andrew, she's also a woman.
Oh, yeah,
Harry's
that's right.
a man.
Harry is a man.
So
an untrained, no experience with
you
firearms.
just hang out here, little lady, and I'll head into this hole.
with your gun and degree in
So
With your literal
physical
training.
enforcement. Yeah.
I go in the hole, and there's like an altar, and I see an odd axe on the wall that I pick up, like a little hand.
I got the axe, yes.
Held, one-handed axe.
This is the second church that I believe.
Well, I say,
Yeah.
I go, maybe this is the other church. That's what he says.
He did say that.
As I pick up the axe and I head out of the hole, the altar bursts into flames and I black out again.
Aye.
And now I'm back in the other world with
Jackie.
Lisa Garland. And Sybil is seen in the real world, the fog world, and she's like, Harry?
Harry,
Howie. Ooh.
Oh no, Harry went in the hole and now he's gone.
you're down one short corridor, but I can't seem to see you anymore.
Lisa tells me that I was having a bad dream. She tells me that Dizzy Gillespie. That Lizzie Gillespie is kind of famous around here, and that her child died in a fire, and that Gillespie has never been the same since. She says that everyone followed some kind of queer religion, and I said, that is just like what's going on today with these drag queens reading to kids at the library and shit.
And selling me a VPN, a YouTube commercial.
Anyway, Silent Hill was a strange, small town before it was developed into like a resort town. Several people involved with the development died in strange accidents. She's telling me all this. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of exposition. And then I black out again and Lisa's gone. So, for one reason or another, I head toward the Silent Hill town center. I can't remember why. I think it's just marked on my map.
I also don't remember.
Oh
why we
God,
went there.
there's something that does prompt you to go there.
All right. Well,
I can't remember what it is.
it's essentially
As you're-
the shopping mall.
As you're blacking out,
I
Lisa
had
says,
gone
"Go."
there beforehand, but you can't get in. Like
Oh,
before
okay.
I went to the antique shop, because you guys, it seems like you guys explored the shopping district before you went into the hospital. I did after the hospital before I went to the Inquisition.
Oh, okay.
Mostly because you guys were sending me funny screen caps of store names and stuff, and I was like, I gotta go see this stuff.
I was just. Oh, okay. No, I'd already finished the hospital.
So the Vestal Giga store is very funny to me. I walk around and I see a corpse on the upper floor. I head toward it. The fucking floor falls up beneath me. I'm in a fucking Zelda boss fight. now.
I
Did you guys go to the jewelry store before that, or no?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I
What
was like, because that was
what
a
was in there?
jewelry store had a place to save and rifle ammo. You
Yeah.
find rifle ammo,
I did not go there.
which is helpful
crucial.
because if not, when you find the rifle,
It does not have a lot of
it has
rounds.
like, I mean, for me,
I think I had 3.
I think it had like 1 round in it.
Yeah, I think it has a round.
well,
in it.
Yeah.
most guns in stores have a couple in there ready to go, but you have to
For
buy.
demonstration purposes.
You usually
have
just
to
load
buy
it
a
up. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's like when you buy a car, it's like maybe got half gas.
It's usually like safety off chambered. You know what I mean? They're like, check it out.
You can get enough to get to the place you gotta go. Kill
the
a couple
boss is
people.
called the Twin Feeler. It's a big sandworm. This is a classic Zelda boss.
Twin Mold, literally the last Zelda boss you fight, the last temple boss you fight is called Twin Mold, and it's a sandworm.
Okay.
no kidding.
It's 2 sandworms.
Is this a reference to something? Is this just Dune?
When did this game come out again?
1999
99? Fuck.
or 97?
I thought it was 99, but Resident Evil might be 99.
99.
Resident Evil is 96. Resident Evil 3 is 99.
Oh, okay. So then it's 99, I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure it's 99.
I was thinking that's like the same exact time Majora's Mask came out, so I don't know.
yeah, but
could both
that's
just be
not. I mean,
references to
there's
something.
sand snake bosses,
Yeah.
sandworm bosses, like in Zelda 1 even.
Yeah.
There's only one worm though, so it's even weirder that it's called Twin something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is like a weird Dune reference.
Yeah, it could be. It's probably the Frank Hebert fucking bullshit.
It's got to be something, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like I've seen it so much. It's a huge part of A Link to the Past.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know.
I've already gotten into Warhammer, but if I ever get into Dune, you guys gotta mercy. You gotta take me out. Don't let me.
The reason I think you won't get into Dune.
Don't
is
let
'cause
me
you
get
have to
that
read.
far. I read so much for Warhammer.
You have to read books. You have to,
I've read 2 of them.
You have to read. You have to read
two
you have to read
books.
books
Very
that,
fine
that
print, they're
you have to
very
read-
long.
You have to read books. You have to read books they're different.
They're different
They're more
books
scholarly.
I challenge you on
It's
that.
like, have you ever tried to get through any of the Lord of the Rings books?
Oh, it's horrendous. It's awful.
That's how Dune's written.
That's how Warhammer is written.
Yeah.
I've had to look up like if I had kept notes, I had to look up several words like every other page.
THE? Te?
Tehi.
Te?
Teehee?
Teehee.
Laughing?
Why is everyone laughing in this book?
I kill this shit. I shot the fuck out of it with a gun.
What was the strategy though?
The strategy?
He just appears
the
behind
strategy
you or,
for
like,
all bosses in Resident Evil and Silent Hill. if
Fucking
it's
shoot
not-
'em?
Just run around in circles and
Yeah.
shoot it, and run around in circles and shoot it. Even up until Resident Evil 7, it's still like run around and shoot it.
Yeah.
Or not 7. 7's Village.
Yeah, 7's Village,
6?
so up until
no,
6,
7. Village is 8.
Yeah, that's right. Biohazard 7.
Yeah. Resident Evil 7, there's still bosses where it's like run around and then shoot it. Run around,
Yeah,
shoot.
those-
And then sometimes it's a scripted sequence with a rocket launcher. Survival horror games have never been great with like bosses where it's like, it's either an enormous set piece boss where it's like, you need to go here, touch the button, wait, dodge attacks, then touch
Yeah.
the button again. It's always just like run around in circles and shoot.
Because that would pretty much, there would be a little thing to like signify he's about to come out of the sand. That would start to happen.
I never saw that. Maybe I was
I
having
just
a glitch.
start to run.
I think most 3D games just fuck up bosses. Like
Yeah.
for a long time. Early 3D. Like
Yeah.
the bosses in Max Payne are like basically a giant bullet sponge guy you just run around and shoot at. Or it's like a fucking awkward thing
Yeah.
like
Even like
When
Majora's Mask was
Vladimir's up
very
on the
much
thing.
like
Yeah.
like they were very cool looking bosses. They were big set piece bosses, but like none of them, most of them I could just kind of smash them. You know what I mean? Like,
But the environment was more,
yeah, or like there was just like one strategy you had to employ to beat it.
because it was like
Yeah.
I don't know. I think when you're doing 2D bosses like in a Mega Man game or something, learning the patterns and stuff.
That's
it's
that's
like-
kind of what I mean.
It's harder to have patterns in a 3D space
Yes.
Yeah.
than it is in a 2D space. In a way where it's like, they need to be able to account for you being wherever you're going to be.
Yeah.
Without making the boss invincible and only vulnerable in
I think
certain
like
times.
in Zelda, like the mini bosses were better fights a lot of the time.
I
than
loved
the
fighting
actual
the we talked about this last night on the Majora's Mask stream. The Iron Knuckles, the Dark Nuts or whatever, and the Lizalfos. Like they're
But yeah,
just
this
fun
guy-
to jump around and fuck them up.
It definitely gave you a signal before he jumped out, and like Matt said, it was pretty much either run around and shoot or just like sidestep, shoot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wait, sidestep, shoot.
Because even though I'm on easy, I always try to like determine just so I know the fight, like what the mechanic is. It's like, is he invincible? Does he?
Right,
Do
maybe
you have to
need
wait?
find a weak spot.
Yeah, but no, you just fucking shoot him. I think every boss in this game, you just shoot it, and that's fine. But I was just
Yeah.
like, what do I do? Do I just shoot him?
So I shoot him a bunch. He curls up into a ball.
And he goes, oh!
And then I think he's dead, but he, like, as I'm leaving, he fucking bursts out of the sand and crashes through the wall, and it
Yeah.
opens a hole in the wall. And I mentioned, you know, as you go out, it's raining, and the sand, the rain
Looked
hitting the sand
ridiculous,
is
yeah.
so fucking good.
I feel bad for not looking at it at all.
I'll put the footage in here, and you can not look at this either.
Okay, I'll listen
Watch
to
this
it.
video.
I'll listen to it. Man, that sounds good.
Before I leave, I grabbed a rifle. The rifle's in this room.
I grabbed it. I
grabbed it during the fight.
started.
Yeah.
No,
I saw it. Or I was like, was running away.
I didn't.
You know
I
what
was
mean?
just like,
Saw it
I'm
sitting
shooting
there.
the shit out of this thing right now with my shotgun.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I mostly only had rifle. This was the part of the game where in normal, you really start finding less and less ammo and health stuff.
Didn't experience that.
I know. It's few and far between at this
I
point.
I basically never had less than 100 handgun shots.
That's
Yeah.
I was sitting right around like 60, like 40 to 60 for like right up until the hospital. And then by the time I left the hospital, I had like
15.
30 rounds for my pistol, 6 rounds for my shotgun. You know what I mean? Like fucking no rifle.
So it's
yet.
just an
And it was, like,
emergency shotgun at that point.
emergency shotgun. Like
how it
rifle,
feels.
I've got 20 right away, and I was like sick.
Yeah.
But then like
So I head back to the hospital and I reunite with Lisa. Again, I can't remember why.
tearing me apart, Lisa.
They had told me to go here.
It does. Harry says something like, "Oh, I'm confused about something. Lisa will know." And then
Oh,
you
it's
go,
how to get to this. You don't know how to get to the
water.
to the lake because there's only one
Yeah.
route.
Reach Cheryl.
And
Yes.
Sybil said it's fucked. So
So she tells me there's no way, and then she goes, "Wait, I remember.
I'm
Never mind.
remembering
There's a waterworks near her old school." And I said, "Oh."
a waterworks.
I said, "Here come the waterworks."
It's just like a wasteland. A lot of municipalities they have wastelands.
It's near the waterworks.
and
usually,
waterworks.
near the old
like on
school.
Monopoly.
That's right.
For some reason, I go across the street to the
Is
post
that how
office. I
they
head to the
named
roof and I battle another boss.
Was
Did you
it
guys do this?
The fucking Mothra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I battled Malthra. And
I checked it out,
Malthra.
but like I didn't. I just I was like, "What's this?" But like there wasn't anything prompting you to go there.
no, I had gone to the roof first beforehand, and it doesn't trigger anything. But this time, I'm pretty sure you're pigeonholed to the roof. Like the only way you can
Oh,
go
was
is
there? I didn't try
this
to else. I
time-
was just like, "What's this building over here?"
This time, when you leave, the only place you can go is up those stairs.
Okay,
right.
there's
To the
one or
roof.
two times in the game where I was like, I don't know why I'm going where I'm going, but I'm just heading here, and I was right.
Yeah,
it's because
I
you
did
can't,
that a lot.
and you just kind of guessed lucky because it was the only clear path. But there's literally nowhere else you can
All right,
go.
then
at
it
this
must
point.
have just been designed
There's,
in
like,
such a way
cages
where
on
the
the other
obvious
side.
choice was the right choice.
Yeah.
So I head to the waterworks after killing the.
I didn't have
the
any
float
ammo for
stinger.
the moth fight.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Float stinger.
The float stinger. Sorry,
sorry, the
the
float
called Mothra. The float
Moths don't have stingers.
stinkers.
Stinkers.
Stingers.
Stingers.
Like fingers.
Fingers.
It's stingers.
okay. Chicken fingers.
Yes. You have the T-shirt with the colored collar. It's a ringer. Why this is funny?
It's not funny. You know the guy who hosts the TV show, Jerry Springer.
Yes, I like his show.
I'm
I
familiar
miss
with
it.
him.
Dun, dun, tch, dun, dun, tch.
I had to fight the moth with my axe,
Christ.
and it took a long time. I sent you the,
The-
capture
the
of
one
it.
With
from
the shitty axe.
with
Yeah,
the
from the
shitty axe,
second
the-
church
the
or whatever.
one-handed axe, like the.
Doing
Here's
no
the thing.
And I
damage.
think I used the lead pipe a little bit, and I had like 15 shots for my pistol, so I unloaded the pistol.
Does the
and-
one-handed axe do more than the pipe damage-wise?
Nope.
Or is it
So that's
maybe
why I
faster?
figured that out later on in the game, though.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
How'd you survive this? He like has an onslaught of just constantly
he spits
pissing on you.
acid.
Yeah.
So I
stings
figured
you.
out there was a strategy that I ended up employing where if you just walk into him, you dodge his first stinger and then you just walk into him. When you're pushing him back, it won't attack the whole time you're pushing him back, like he stutters. And so I'd push him all the way back to like one corner of the building, slashing him the whole time.
Okay.
And then I'd like back up, So he'd come back at me, and then I'd start pushing him again. Because when you're walking into him, he like backs up and he won't attack
Really?
you. For some reason,
That's bizarre.
I think I figured out an exploit.
I would have never even tried running into him. I can't believe how many times did you die?
I don't remember.
Like a lot?
A few.
I can't imagine doing that. I killed him with a pistol. I just kept shooting.
It takes like 40 to 60 pistol shots.
Maybe I started with a shotgun or something. Because I wasn't sure I was doing damage. So I
see
think
blood spurt out of him.
yeah. But
Well-
even still, I was like, is that actually hurting him?
But yeah, so you fuck up the Mothra, and then you
Then you go to the waterworks, which is across the drawbridge. So you break open the lock with your melee weapon or a gun, probably, whatever
I
you
used the
choose
lead
to.
pipe.
I
Yeah.
also used a lead pipe. The only time I used it in the game.
And then I head into the sewers, which I have in my notes here, were thankfully very linear. There's a new enemy here, the Scratcher, which is something like a big praying mantis. I wander around, I look for keys, I check dead ends, and eventually I exit up a ladder.
You wanna-
But there's some dead ends, but it's like really not
It's
that
not
hard.
too bad.
It's not like the sewers in Resident Evil 2 or something.
Yeah, this reminded me of these enemies reminded me of either the Trogs from the pit in Fallout 3, the pit DLC, which are like the irradiated people
Never played
outside.
that.
Or when you go into the vault that's overrun by plants in Fallout New Vegas. Do you know what I'm
I don't
talking
think I
about?
played any DLC for Fallout 3.
No? They're pretty good. Two of them are pretty good.
I played all the Fallout 4 ones.
Do not play the.
Don't do Point Lookout. Though you did play Point Lookout, you said, because that one was the one that fucked. No, we're talking.
No.
You were talking about Far Harbor.
Far Harbor.
Yep. But yeah, they look like the grass people in the vault where everything's alive. Do you know what I'm talking about? In Fallout New Vegas?
I haven't gotten that far. No.
I thought you played the fuck out of New Vegas.
No.
No? Both of you haven't really?
I've played 6 to 10 hours, but that's nothing compared to what I would probably do is like 200 hours.
Yeah, I have at least a couple hundred hours.
Yeah,
Because
30 or
I
40.
was playing on console and it fucked up, and then I got a PC version and I haven't gone back into it since. The console.
well,
port
if
was
you
kinda
just-
fucked
if
for
Game
me.
Pass Xbox version runs pretty smooth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I own it.
Okay.
I just haven't.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, same. I own
I've
it on
been-
Steam,
I've
but
been
the
playing,
Steam one is way more glitchy for whatever reason than the Xbox port.
It was nearly unplayable.
Yeah.
I would say unplayable.
Yeah, the Xbox port.
Functioning, but I consider it unplayable.
Maybe Matt will find a picture of it or whatever, or I'll send you a picture of it because they look just like them.
All right.
Oh, I'll find one. You won't remember to send it to me.
I will.
And if you do, I'll forget why.
I'm usually good at it.
So can't win. Really can't win.
When I edit this in a month.
Yeah, you won't remember at all.
So I go out of the ladder.
I go outside.
At this point, I realize I don't have a map.
Yeah.
I also did not have a map for the sewer. Oh, there's two sewers. Are you talking about?
Sewer 1,
Okay.
not Sewer 2. I get out. I'm like, I don't know where the fuck I'm going. You're in the resort section, I believe.
Yes.
Now,
We're in the resort town.
resort town, which I find the bar. Did you find the bar
No.
with Kaufman
Not
getting
first.
attacked?
Inevitably.
No.
The first place I went was like the cowboy store or whatever. Do you remember what that was called? It has
Indian
a lo-
Runner?
Indian Runner.
Which
It
is
was-
also significant.
Yeah, but it was locked, and I got there, and I was like, can't get in here. You know what I mean? Don't know
Right. It
what
has
to
a
do.
keypad on the front.
Yeah, and then I ended up finding the
So
bar
I
after
found
that.
I found a bar. I go in, and Kaufman's getting attacked by an enemy. I shoot the enemy off of him. We chat for a bit, and he dropped a key and a receipt. The receipt was for the Indian Runner store, and it
He
had a
leaves his
door code written
whole ass
on it.
wallet on the floor.
Yeah, but those are the two like
He was in
important.
a rush.
Yeah, you pick it up and you're like, what's in here? Oh.
Oh,
What, he
receipt.
said, "What's in your wallet?"
I find a door with a lock. Would you believe it? The code from the receipt works. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had
Inside,
the same because I found the lock first. I was like, oh, well now they've given me a 4-digit code here.
this is where I was still fumbling around because I didn't have a map.
Yeah,
So you go inside Indian Runner. There's a journal. There's an entry about being pressured to move drugs for this like menacing character. It seems like they're alluding to Kaufman here.
yes.
Not sure who the author is. In retrospect, I think it's Lisa.
I believe so because you find more of her journals later in the
Yeah.
game, implying which like led me to believe that all of them were Lisa's journals.
There's a safe behind the register. There's like a key like in the drawer behind.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, this is like weird. This is all right here, but okay. And there's drugs in there, and I'm like, well, I'm not in the mood
Las
to
Drogas.
take the drugs. So I leave the drugs. At this point, I'm very confused. But there's a note on the wall that mentions a door code, and it's enough. So I'm like, cool, another door code. I guess I gotta find
Yeah.
another locked door. I find a green building. It's prominent. It's, it's like weird, like that pillow almost. A little more.
I just didn't do any of this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I just didn't do any
This
of
is
it.
I looked this up later. This is a side quest.
Okay.
Yeah, that I stumbled into because when I entered the resort town, I went, like I said, immediately to Indian Runner because I was just like, I'll just go forward.
Thankfully, the game's kind of linear in the layout of the map, and I quickly found the motel. I dig around in the motel for a while. I think that's a green building, but the green building is the green building's motel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just running away from enemies right here, like to the door.
I dick around in the motel for a while. I check all the rooms. I like when there's a motel in games because it reminds me of Alan Wake.
I was gonna say, was there a door with a swirly and a door with a upside down pyramid?
No, this was somewhat similar to the Heavy Rain motel.
I
in the
guess.
layout. It was that style,
Yeah, it was that seedy motel,
Yeah.
like west, like
I don't know. I like
definitely-
motels in games because I just feel like they're like a cool location. Like it's opportunity for a lot of weird shit to happen.
not to bring up Fallout New Vegas again, but I always loved the Novak. Novak is
BJ?
like the small, BJ Novak. It's a
Fallout New
it's a
Vegas,
motel
wow.
where like it said no vacancy, but like
Yes.
the last of the letters fell
Oh,
off.
I
And
know
there's
that.
a,
I'm
there's
an
a big
idiot.
T-Rex.
Yeah, that's
You know what I mean?
I love that.
I love that
fucking
spot.
place.
That
place
spot's
is
really
cool as
cool.
hell.
I feel like I talked to the clerk there for an hour.
I got the clerk shot in the head.
I shot the clerk in it. Well, no, I got
no,
the
Boone
clerk
shoots
shot in
her
the
in
head.
the
You're
head.
right. Yeah.
It's the lady, right?
Yeah,
You can
she's-
talk to her
she's
you can talk to her forever.
She's a bad lady.
Because you're trying to find out information for a later quest.
Yes. Anyway, so I dick around here.
Do you guys want to talk about Fallout New Vegas instead? You want to switch over?
I'd like to play it first.
I'm ready.
The main quest.
I enjoyed it enough that I could talk about it.
And then I would bring up a bunch of stuff that neither of you guys had any
And I'm
fucking
like,
clue.
that sounds
Yeah,
cool
but
though.
you have to go,
It's a
okay.
fun game.
Okay. Okay. Heard. That's dope.
I think it'd be fun.
Not today though.
We'll do it after this.
I don't think it'd be fun for me at all. Realistically, how many quests do you think you completed in that game?
30, 40 hours that I played it. Solid amount, man. Like I completed Novak.
That's like early on.
I know it's like the second like town you go to. Maybe like it's hard to say. Sometimes quest lines are forever before you
Yeah.
actually officially complete them. 10 or 20? Maybe.
I feel like we should all complete the main quest before we have a discussion on it.
rookie numbers.
Yeah.
It is a
Probably,
huge
yeah.
game.
Rookie numbers.
yeah.
I've done my best to try to complete every quest in that game.
And it's like still
Yeah, I still
you're
haven't.
like goddamn.
So I fucking opened the door with the coffin key. It's Coffin's hotel room. Of course it is. And this game loves to put stuff behind a bookshelf. There's a clear hint that there's like something behind this bookshelf. It's like you can see there's like I don't know, like scrapes where the bookshelf had
There's
moved
usually
multiple
there's
times.
scrapes on the ground, or those like you'll see like the cracks coming out of the
Right, I
wall.
think it was like
from
that.
behind it. And you're like, okay.
So
That way right there.
there's a key stuck in a crack in the floor, but I can't reach it. But earlier I found a magnet.
Yes. It's
I
like
used
a
the
magnet with a string around
to get
it.
the key.
I found the key and then found the magnet after. I found the key first, and it was like, you can't get to the key. And I was like, all right.
This is Home Alone of a game.
And then later I found a magnet with a string wrapped around it, and I was like, that's probably for the key.
So, and it's a motorcycle key. Earlier, I passed through a garage, I saw a motorcycle. So I use the key, doesn't work.
Motorcycle.
I'm like, what? And I have to like fucking get in a very specific position. This is the only time I had difficulty with this in the whole game, where I was like, what? Oh, okay, cool. And I used the key to open the gas tank?
Yeah, that part didn't make sense to me either. But the key opened the gas tank on the motorcycle.
And in the gas tank,
there might be a thing on some motorcycles that you can't open the gas tank unless you have the key in a certain spot. I think
Could be.
I think I've
like
heard of
maybe
that
you have
before.
to pop the gas cap by having the key on it.
right?
Yeah,
It's just not.
otherwise-
that's not how it looked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
it,
not
it,
at all.
it was very. It was animated very weird.
Otherwise, anybody could just fuck you, I guess. You know, but I guess anybody could do that in any car.
Yeah, I sabotage
think that's
cars
a-
all the time.
I fuck them up.
Yeah, I fuck them up.
Sand in there.
Dump sugar.
So there's a vial of some red shit, and it looks just like the stuff I saw in the hospital on the floor.
It's a Googe Leo.
Coffin comes in and he takes it. He starts chewing me out. He tells me to stop goofing off if I don't want to die.
Yeah, he's like, aren't you here to save your daughter? Don't you want to die? Why are you wasting fucking time, you piece of shit?
This
Don't
guy's
touch
taking
this,
a
it's
nap,
mine."
getting in a fight. What
He
was
takes
this?
the red
He
goop from
does say like, "You want to die, huh?
Mm.
Idiot! You little idiot man! You want to be dead?
Like
Stop goofing off!
like your daughter.
He is like super aggressive, and he's very much
you want to
like,
be dead? Like your daughter that I killed?
Uh-oh.
I almost said it. Almost let it slip. I think that's what I'm thinking of.
I gotta go. Wasted
I'm
too
thinking
much
I'm
time.
thinking of Umbrella. Whoops! Almost let it slip.
For me, in my playthrough, I want you to know that Coffin was in 2 scenes.
Yeah,
That's the
I know you
extent.
didn't do the coffin quest.
Yeah, that's the.
Yeah,
I
'cause you
saw.
find him 2 more times in this area.
Wow.
So he takes it. He yells at me.
He's
and
like
I go,
really-
that guy must be involved in the local drug trade.
Yeah, you're like this. That was the sketchiest thing anyone's done to me in the game so far.
And then I go,
Like even
screaming
Dahlia
at him?
Gillespie talking to you. This guy being like, "What the fuck are you doing here, fucking around, you piece of shit? Get the wasted
he
fucking."
really goes off on you.
Yeah,
I'll play the
uh-huh.
clip here, but he lays into you so hard.
But is it all stuttered up and like?
No.
You piece of shit.
No.
You are an
It's
asshole.
like one of the first times in the game where it's just like a barrage of speech.
Yeah.
Damn, that sounds hilarious.
And he goes, Harry goes, I guess I wasted my time. I go, what?
He doesn't question it at all. He's
I was
just
like,
like, my bad.
that's why I looked this up. I was like, oh,
This
it's the
guy's-
Kaufman side quest. I guess I'm not doing the right thing at all. So I go back out. I head toward the water.
I see the snake.
I go into the other world again, but this time, instead of the dream becoming a nightmare, it's like reality becoming a nightmare, and it feels different, like something bad is going to happen.
I saw that. Yeah.
I get into a small boat. This whole pier area with the docks and stuff, great, I love it.
Yeah, I was just
I
getting
like
chased
very
by
well.
dogs through here. I was just running.
And there's so much room for you to explore, and there's nothing there.
Yeah, and I had
It's
There is
just a
nothing
trap.
there.
in this
Yeah.
point again. I'd like to reiterate: no fucking ammo. Every health drink I find at this point, I'm immediately taking because most of my time at this point is spent in the red zone.
Oh my
where it's like
God.
flashing red, and I have to
Yeah.
just immediately get a health drink, fucking pound it, and then run again.
Jesus.
So the dogs are just chasing me in the pterodactyl. I'm hitting a dead end. Fuck!
Slamming A, trying to get into a
So
door.
Sybil's on the boat, we're talking, and then Gillespie shows up, Dahlia, that is, talking about the demon,
not
and how I need
Dizzy.
to save my daughter before the darkness swallows the whole world. Dahlia leaves, and Sybil and I decide to split up. I go to the lighthouse, and Dahlia and Sybil decides she'll go to the amusement park. So I confusedly fumble around some more until I find the lighthouse. This took me way too long to figure out how to get there.
The pier is like 7 miles long, and
it's
like
so
it looks.
long, and
It
there's
looks.
like nothing there.
It looks much shorter on the map, and there
Yeah.
is nothing to find there.
And there's like a little side area you can go down. It's just
Yeah.
like, you might find like handgun bullets or something, maybe. But in most areas that I went off the beaten path, nothing there. Just dogs and shit.
It's
just
also
to get
one of
you
those,
lost
like-
into it.
And the
It's-
screamers.
It's like if it's becoming clear that you're maybe getting towards the end game here. 'Cause you're
Yeah.
like- because of that, because you're like, there's nothing here. It's desolate, but there's a lot of enemies.
But
So-
those like
of
those
dogs.
the stuff that you do find there is like it takes you as much to get that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you shot your bullets 5 times to get 6 bullets. Like it's like okay.
Yeah, that stuff.
You shot your
sucks.
bullet 5 times.
Shot your bullets. I shot the same bullet.
So this is where I had the most trouble with the tank controls, was going up when I entered the lighthouse. I went up a fucking spiral staircase, and this is going up a spiral is not good for tank controls.
No.
I was constantly like, hitting
don't
the
know how
wall
you-
and like going, ugh.
I dead ass. I was doing the same thing where I'd keep
What?
like, because yeah, I don't know.
I just like held like up left or up right, whatever, and I just like sprinted, and he just
Really?
Yeah, I didn't stutter
I didn't
at all.
because I kept fucking running into the goddamn side of the stairs like
Start
an idiot.
dead fucking center. and
Maybe
it
I
just, it's perfect, but I don't know.
I did it
I
twice.
fucked it
Maybe
up.
I just accidentally nailed it because both times
I
I didn't.
didn't.
I didn't even have to re-up.
So there's a little girl. Is it Cheryl? I don't fucking know. She disappeared.
I don't even remember
And I say I was
what she
too
looks like at
late.
this point.
Yeah, no, this was she was in the maid's outfit.
But there's
this
some
one.
like fucking spiritual, weird, occulty looking symbols written all over the floor. I go, there's something happening here. But she disappeared. And I go, I think I'm seeing Cheryl's ghost. She acts like a ghost girl. I think my daughter's dead.
And there was nothing ghost. It was a ghost of a girl. There was nothing. There was nothing to do up there either. So I
No.
was like, did I fuck up? Am I supposed to? I was like, do I use
No,
fluoros
you
here?
did fuck up. He goes, I was too late.
And I was like, did I ruin the game? I couldn't tell what was going
Nah,
on.
you
So you
I was like,
head
I
out.
guess we'll go back down.
You
My
head
daughter's
out,
dead.
this is a few times of the game you get transported. You get teleported back to the boat.
Yeah, it was funny because I was like, well, it was way faster getting back to the boat than coming to the
Yeah.
fucking.
Oh,
It's the
yeah.
same thing when you cross the drawbridge. You just go
Yeah.
to the waterworks entrance. You know,
Yeah, that was wild too. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
I appreciate that because there's times where I go, "You're not making the game any better by making me go all this way."
Yeah.
Sybil's gone, so I had for a red arrow on my map what was once the sewer entrance is now the entrance to the amusement park. So as I enter the sewer 2, this is the sewer you were
This
talking
sewer
about.
you were thinking of.
Sewer poo.
I see a cutscene of Sybil getting attacked from behind. The sewer is more disgusting than before, with those fucking ceiling guys attacking me and shit.
And now there's orange guys with
That's
long
verbatim
claws.
from my notes.
Yeah, and now there's
There's
the
orange guys?
Maybe they weren't orange. Maybe they're like tan or something. They had long claws. Do you guys not run into those guys?
What? I don't know what
I
you're
don't
saying.
remember these guys.
Say
There's a
again?
new enemy type when you get into this section of the sewer,
Yeah.
and they have long claws.
The ceiling guys? Where they
No.
piss on you?
It's not the praying mantis type things.
Those were already in the first sewer. I had a new enemy type in this section.
Oh, maybe I did too. I just don't know. I remember the ones on the ceilings.
Because the ones on the ceilings were just the praying mantis guys, but on the ceiling.
yeah.
And those were present for me in my first sewer. Maybe normal's way fucking harder than I thought.
I think it might be. I don't remember.
Because they
I'm
look
not
like
saying
the-
I didn't see those. I just didn't write
Well,
it
they
down.
look kind of like. Do you remember the guys with the knives earlier in the game?
Yeah. Oh, they're similar.
They look like
Yeah, so I know
those,
you're
but they
talking about.
have long claws. Mm-hmm. And they kill you in like 2 hits.
Okay.
They take away all your health in like 2 hits.
Is this so? Is Sewer Part 2 the one where you find the key off of the broken like into the water? Do you remember that part where
Yeah, I
there's like the
believe so.
broken fence?
Yeah, because I was just fucking running.
Yeah, as soon as
Yeah.
you grab the key, you just get swarmed by like 6 guys.
Yeah.
Maybe 4, but it was a bunch.
Yeah, I just sprint through here. Just
You
sprint.
can.
I didn't
Yeah.
fight. I didn't fight anybody. I had
You
no
get deep
ammo.
into the sewer. The music here, I have my notes. The music gets really fucking intense.
It got crazy here. Yeah.
And there's like carousel horses like in the sewer water and shit. And it's like, oh, I started to see that the game would do this thing where it foreshadow the next area really nicely visually in these
Yeah.
ways that you'd really only pick up on a second playthrough or on like 10 minutes later, like, oh shit, that was that thing, you know? So I go through the amusement park some more. It's really well modeled for how sparse it is, and like
Six
it's
Flags
so dark.
Silent Hill.
Like,
It looks cool. Yeah.
there's a bunch of rides that are modeled when really like the map, it's the smallest map of the game.
Yeah.
I didn't see the map. You found the map because it was like obscured by the camera.
As far as I remember, like where I entered the park, it was directly in front of you, but like you have to like find the right camera angle to actually
Right.
be able to see it, which was
Yeah.
weird and frustrating.
And I-
but I was like, oh, cool.
Even I was looking
I don't know
up
if I remember
a
this.
walkthrough
Was it on
for
like
notes.
a? Was
the
it on like
walkthrough
a
said,
bulletin
Yeah,
board?
it was like a-
I
yeah.
found that. Yeah.
the walkthrough said there's no carousel map or there's no amusement park map.
I definitely found this.
I super
walked
found
up
it,
to the
yeah.
fucking-
Because that. All right. Well, anyway,
It's like the thing that Plattsburgh Street Team's taking over, but it was just like a wooden.
Actually, I think there's a little pamphlet.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
you
like a
just-
pamphlet you grab.
Yeah. So I missed that, but there's a notepad here you can save. There's like one lone child shambler, like the gray child shambler, like on one of
Yeah.
the rides. That was the only enemy in this whole part for me.
I think so. For
Yeah,
me
I don't
as
remember
well.
fighting anyone
I
because
just thought it was funny. They put like the child on the
yeah.
ride.
At this point, I was literally just sprinting everywhere because I was like, I'm gonna fucking die. I
you're like, I just need to make as much
I'm
progress.
just gonna fucking die here.
So I had this part spoiled for me.
I didn't.
oh yeah, 'cause same kind of. Because when I got into this fight, I remembered I had watched.
I knew what it-
I had watched the Internet Historians explained on all the Silent Hills like a week or two before we started playing this.
Okay.
Just to kind of fill myself in and like because I've watched them before and I've watched like more Silent Hill. Lore.
I must have seen those. I watched like all of that Story Mode channel
Yeah.
months ago. Mm-hmm. I must have seen that because the red liquid that you put in the bottle that you found in the hospital,
Agugladgelia.
you can throw it at Sybil, and because I'm getting ahead of myself.
Sorry.
This kind of factors into that. I only went to 2 locations in the amusement park. I went to one where the kid was, and then I went directly to the carousel. Like,
Right,
so
yeah.
it was like I don't know if there's more to explore.
No, there isn't.
There's
That's
like
what
a
I'm saying.
concession
Oh,
stand.
That's why I was like, you're like, oh, I got the map. I was like, oh, it's weird they even put a map there because it is like, you pretty much walk straight to the notepad to save.
My eyes twitching.
And then straight to the carousel.
And then straight to the carousel. There's
okay.
nowhere to go around.
No.
I thought coincidentally I was just like I found the place I had to go.
No,
Like instantly.
it's like with Matt with the moth enemy where he was like, I just somehow got right there. It's like it just pigeonholes you.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? There's a few moments where like unintentionally you don't.
That was the only time in the game where I was like, whoa, look at me.
It's almost a
As it
straight
turns
line.
out, it's just a funnel.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
And it's a very small area. Like I explored the whole thing. And I was like, oh, damn,
Most-
there's really nothing else here.
Most amusement parks are pretty small, so
Yeah,
makes sense.
they're known for being extremely tight spaces.
yeah.
So what happens is you go here and Sybil's like conked out in a wheelchair. You go, a wheelchair at an amusement park?
This hour?
What's that doing here?
Horrible
They don't let
else?
handicapped people.
But I had this spoiled for me. So what you do is she starts attacking you.
Yeah.
You get close to her and you just throw the liquid in her face.
I unfortunately, it took me a little while. I like died twice, and then because I didn't have any ammo, so I was mostly panicking going into these things.
She takes a beating, dude, if you don't
and
use
she shot at me so much because I couldn't attack her. She just kept shooting. She runs out of ammo inevitably, and then just starts like trying to strangle you.
Oh, that's
When
right.
she does
yeah.
that, you know, she's close to you, you can throw it.
Yep.
But you killed her.
Yeah, and this even on easy, it took me a while to like all of my rifle ammo,
So what happened when you killed her?
shotgun. She goes ah, and like her eyes go. I think she comes back to real her for a minute, and I think there's a dialogue, but even still, I was just like, what the fuck? And then I think Dahlia shows up.
Yeah. Okay. So what happens for us is we throw the liquid on her and she like breaks out of her spell and like a fucking weird little parasite crawls
Yeah,
out of her.
a big fucking worm, like probably real life this big.
Yeah, like
Shit.
the ones that are in the back of the puppet.
Back of the nurses.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like Harry stomps it.
He goes, oh,
Ew! Fucking gross, dude.
I said some eraser head baby looking parasite crawled out of her back and I stomped on it.
Yuck.
The
And
weird
she was
ghost
Sybil
girl.
was okay.
She was like a little shaken up, but she was alive. Yeah.
I think she fucking is dead in mine.
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, no, you
Yeah,
killed
you
her.
killed her.
You killed her.
Blasted her.
You
she
killed
took a
her.
lot.
Yeah.
So the weird ghost girl I've been
All of
seeing
my
around
ammo.
She's
here's, and I go, hey, where is Cheryl? And she points and basically goes like this and like blasts me with finger guns, like just like an electrical zapper.
Dahlia
Yeah.
did?
No, the ghost girl.
Oh, the ghost girl. Okay.
And then the pyramid thing from my pocket starts glowing and flies into the air and zaps her. And then Gillespie shows up and she goes, it's almost done. And she just needs one more thing from the little girl. And I have to be honest, I don't get this at all. I'm so fucking confused at this point.
I think that's why I barely remember this.
I crash out and I wake up in the other hospital with Lisa.
Yeah.
She says that she looked in the basement. I told her that there was some weird stuff in the basement. She goes, I'm not supposed to go down there. She goes, you know what? I did go in there. And she gets all weird and she's like, I think I've been there before, but I can't remember. I feel crazy. And then she runs away. I go after her. And there's a ton of locked rooms with words or names on them that I need to figure out how to open.
Yeah.
So I do a numbers puzzle with a slate on the wall where you have to like...
Well, don't you see like little ghost Cheryl run into one of those rooms
I don't
when
remember
you
that.
first come down here? No?
I don't remember.
I don't remember that at all,
Could
but
be,
possibly.
I could be. This is when you're in technically
No,
the...
yes,
nowhere?
I did see
The
that.
nowhere? Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Cheryl?
She like runs past
Yeah.
you.
It's easy to miss because like
Right.
I only
it
caught
seemed
her
like
as
an
she gets in
enemy
the door.
just running, but it wasn't like a cutscene. It
No,
was
no,
like
no,
in
no, no.
game.
It was, yeah.
I feel like I spent more time in this nowhere section than I did
Right.
in the like maybe
Yeah,
the same
you
amount of
had a
time
much
here.
harder time.
So
Jesus
this-
Christ.
I didn't realize this at the exact moment, but it is called Nowhere when you go to save. It's the final section of the game, basically, and it's there's no map, and it's a fairly intricate series of puzzles.
Yeah, I'd say.
Some of them are easier. Like I thought the one where you have to arrange the first letter of each name going to youngest to oldest. There's a thing on the wall. It's like all of the names from young to old. Put them in order
the
and
Grim Reaper's
enter their
list.
end.
I
It was
didn't
like, I was like,
I understood it, but then the problem was I must have misread the what?
You have a full ass keyboard.
Yeah.
And they have full names, like sometimes with the middle initial.
you
too.
don't have a full ass keyboard. What do you mean?
When you go to type in the letters.
No, I thought you meant like attached to your PlayStation. I was like, I
Oh,
don't,
no.
I don't think they did that.
no, I had the
thing was,
PlayStation keyboard.
I either overlooked or like didn't quite read far enough into like the first letter because I took the first letter, first name, last name, and like when they had the middle initial.
I added
and so
that.
I have a little piece of paper with like
Yeah.
I always try the
That's
simplest
what I
solution
did.
first.
Yeah,
I-
that's in my mind that was the simplest solution.
typed
was
out
every
their-
capital letter.
I typed out their entire
I
names
just did every
first.
capital letter, and then I did it in age You know what I mean? And then inevitably, I was
Well-
like, alert.
Andrew was like, I'm getting stuck. I said, maybe you should read that thing on the wall. It might alert you to the answer. I put
Fuck
alert in
off.
all caps.
Yeah.
I need
I
to
thought you
know,
were
like,
just being an asshole.
I looked at that. I do remember you saying that, and when I got to that puzzle, I was like, oh, it's really fucking easy to just realize that you have to use these names. Why did Matt say that? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then I found the word alert, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. And then well, after I solved it, I responded back like, "Fuck off."
There was also the puzzle with the zodiac signs.
This was piss.
This was piss.
It was
this was
piss.
the simplest puzzle.
It was, but I couldn't believe it. It was another one of those scenarios where I was like, "There's absolutely no way that the dumb thing that I just thought of was going to be the solution," but it was.
What was the dumb thing you
It's
thought of?
not dumb. It's just
I
a
thought,
puzzle.
wasn't it the amount of legs or limbs that they had?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? I was just
that's
like,
it.
what?
I fucked it up at first.
The
'cause-
weird thing is, like, when we play these games, you get pissed when you don't know it, and then you get pissed when you do know the answer.
Because I was just like, I don't know.
Like,
I'm
you're
a
just,
monkey. I have a
Right, but
brain
you're
of an
just like-
ape.
But it just, if you figure out a puzzle, you should be like, oh, cool.
I figured out the
I
puzzle.
accomplished my goal. Instead, you're like, this fucking sucked. I looked at it and I figured out the answer.
It's like they're like
Yeah,
all the other
they're
puzzles are
easy,
like
medium, and
elevated.
hard, but they're you know some you figure out better.
So
than
I
others.
always
This
I
one
always
took me a
approach
second.
them at big brain level.
It took me a
and then-
second because I was thinking about the months.
And I
But there's
think I
also
gave 'em-
fucking there's a number. I'm sorry to cut you off. There's a number under each one, and I was like, oh,
Right.
maybe it's a math thing, and it's not.
Well, and the
Right.
number underneath each one of them is the amount of limbs they have. And the only
Right,
one
and
that
then
threw
there's
me off
three
was,
that have no number.
I
you
think
have
I
to
gave the
deduce
centaur
from.
too many limbs or something. I think I like counted something
well, it's
wrong
rough
or-
because like is the head a limb?
Yeah, because I did like
No,
6
and
or
also
so- yeah.
that thing is like a fifth leg.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it.
He's got a hog there.
If you want to call it a hog, I call it a fucking piece.
He's got a tank on him.
Swamp root. So yeah, I mean these puzzles were varying degrees of difficulty, but eventually, I do a numbers puzzle where arrange the names, blah blah blah. I go inside this room. Lisa's in there. She gets all weird. She goes, "I know why I'm alive and everyone else died," and she's like begging me to save her, and she like comes toward me,
Yeah.
and I just shove her away.
I know, this was
And
so...
I said, what?
That made no sense.
And then she goes, and her head starts bleeding.
Yeah.
And I just go, fuck this, and I run away and slam the door behind me. And then
I thought the initial shove was super harsh, though,
So
because she was
rude.
not bleeding yet.
no,
No.
she's not like I could see if she was like, save me, and then she's
Yeah.
But she was just being like very
Scared.
vulnerable and scared, and then you just shove her. And
Like
then
it-
she freaks out and turns to bloody Lisa.
Yeah.
But then you lock her in the room.
Lisa, bloody Lisa.
And the fucking this like really beautiful gentle music starts
It
playing.
was incredible. It was like a save room music
Yeah.
from like Resident Evil.
It was-
I was like, this is enchanting.
It's like this is so
It was a
effective and
very-
it was so fucking weird.
Lisa?
Yeah.
But
You
like
go
at-
back in?
Yeah, at this
you go back
point,
in.
I didn't.
really?
No.
At this point, I was so fucking lost. So I went right back in, and she's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's just
but
not
she leaves
there.
a journal. Mm-hmm. And that's how you kind of can make the connection.
That's why I figured
And that's
out
why
the
I
first
was a
one was
little more
Lisa's journal.
confused about the journal because I watched.
Game
There's
Grumps?
a channel called Deep Dives that
Oh,
they
yeah.
only have 4 videos. They have Silent Hill 1, Silent Hill 2. They're I think in order it's Silent Hill 2, The Evil Within, Dead Space, and Silent Hill 1.
Okay.
So I haven't watched your Silent Hill 2 video because I want to play through that game first. But it's similar to what we do here, except it's slightly less irreverent, and it's one guy.
They stay a little more on track.
So better.
A little bit more.
Mostly better.
I think that's objective.
Yeah, but it's a really good channel, and he you know, he kind of breaks it down step by step. He's like, you re-enter the room and find the journal. I was like, oh fuck.
I wouldn't really think to.
I was just like,
would
I
have
locked her in
assumed-
there.
Yeah.
If I could just open the door, I don't know. I was like, I'm not going back in there.
It's one of those-
yeah, she's scary.
I don't think
boss now?
I definitely didn't. I didn't like leave, turn back around, and go back in. You know what I mean?
No, you
like I
listened to the
explored
music.
a little bit more.
You cried.
Yeah, and then I was like, why did he hit her? And then I didn't hit her.
did
I did not.
I did not.
Lisa, you're tearing me apart.
Has someone made that edit of that scene yet?
You're gonna have to be the one.
We have to for this video.
You are lying. I never hit you. You are tearing me apart, Lisa.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
My notes on this part are, what? So, yeah, the Zodiac puzzle, I get a thing that's another key item. I put the
find
Zodiac stone into the clock. There's like an old grandfather clock.
Yeah.
And the clock literally like explodes glass in my face. And it shoots out a key. I bring the key to some other place.
It
and
explodes.
That part didn't make sense to me because I was like, it looks like there's something behind the glass, and so I was like, can I hit it?
Yeah,
You know
I
what I
tried
mean?
to
Like,
hit it
So I
too.
can put a rock into it.
And that makes
Make
the
it
glass
shatter
explode.
open?
It didn't make any sense. So I said, I have my notes here. I'm so lost and confused. I open up a plate in the wall with a screwdriver, but there's electricity keeping me from getting the key. There's also a key in a bird cage that I can't get to yet because the bird cage is locked. There's a super cryptic puzzle on the third floor that I do not get at all. Oh, wait. Oh, I just had to use my camera to flash and
That took me a while too. It took me a while to use the camera to take the pictures of it.
because eventually I was like, what is going on here? I can't even
Yeah.
use an item. I was like, oh, wait, I haven't even tried all my items.
Well,
it's
it also said something along the lines of like when you shed light on
Right.
the photos or whatever, and I was
Camera
like, oh, it has a
flash.
fucking flash.
Yeah,
I was flashing.
you're
I was
showing.
pulling my PP out.
You're pressing the right trigger or whatever.
Yeah. I was,
You're bringing up the weapon wheel and
Yes.
choosing exposed
Choosing
penis
masturbate.
every time. I had to look this one up
Yeah.
because I had the camera, and I'm gonna take the blame on this one because it does say the light. I kept taking that as when it's shown the light. When you solve the puzzle, that's how I kept thinking of it. And
this
low-
might be stuck forever.
low key, like, kind of forgot about the flash on cameras. Like that's not as common anymore in life. You know what I mean? I know they all have flash, but like
Yeah, I think
most people.
all phone cameras have a flash.
Yeah, but like you don't generally use it.
You do in low light situations.
You do in low light situations, like when you're taking. Well, even I don't know.
I'm taking dick pics, with, like, but I'm just like putting the phone in my pants. You know what I
It's
mean?
rough. It can be. It can be light can be
I want
unflattering.
you to see what it looks like, and it's you know what I mean?
in
Like,
very
I don't
bright
wanna,
situations.
I'm not trying to like give you a fucking like. Here's nice lighting. Here's like my
I
fluffed
just
up
put a
penis.
filter on it afterward.
Oh, okay.
like
There
a
you
little
go.
mustache,
No, like a low light filter.
cock enlarging it. Oh, okay.
No, like a
What?
Like a smooth.
Put a low light filter? What are you
Yeah,
talking
like
about?
a smoothing filter. Like a
here's my-
beauty filters.
Oh yeah.
It gives
here's
it
my-
rosy cheeks.
Here's my smudgy Photoshop tool cock.
I want you to see it all like fucking mashed up.
like, all-
Inside of one, looking like it's inside my balls.
with like a
you know
cup
what
of
I mean?
sweat just being
So,
contained swimming.
I have my notes here. The end of the game is really just a massive series of key hunts followed by a final boss fight. And the
How
boss
long-
you encounter depends on the choices you made throughout the game.
How long did it take you guys to realize that you had to like turn off the power to get to that fucking key?
I knew immediately.
I knew instantly. I didn't know what the fuck it was though.
I didn't know it immediately.
I said,
I don't know why that was like the one thing
you
I was
grab
a
it?
fucking idiot about. No, you can't even try to touch it.
Oh, okay.
But it was like, I don't know why it's the one thing I was a fucking idiot about, but I was like, I've been to the boiler room,
It's just like,
and I know you can turn off the power. I don't know why I had such a
yeah,
hard
I was
time.
like, there's electricity here. Unless I find like rubber gloves.
That's kind of what I thought. I thought I had to find like pliers or something.
yeah.
Well, pliers.
'Cause you
like,
had
rubber
pliers.
pliers. You know what I mean?
Well, the
Like,
rubber handled
They have,
pliers.
they have the handles. The
yeah, but that would
plastic
still
dip.
cause like a zzz or something if you like shoved a piece of metal in there.
Yeah, but
You'd
you
want to
wouldn't
be
sure.
careful.
Right, but it might be enough to make you drop the key. I don't know.
Fair.
When you ever
in the-
stick a fork in an outlet or anything, it's like
I put a knife in once.
This is also one of the harder things too. Is this one where when you
Eyeballs.
fucking get the refrigerator? Do we
so.
want to
Yeah.
talk about that?
So
There's, can I have one more thing about the electric key?
You stupid piece of
In the previous version of that room, that's the little snake, blood snake, whatever, tentacles. You guys remember that?
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
on
you
the
have to
ground.
like,
you have to throw him a blood
You
pack.
throw him a blood pack.
and he eats it.
and he's like,
I did not come to that conclusion on my own.
he was sucking up on the
Stop
pool of
doing that
blood
to
on
my
the
chair.
ground.
I'm just rubbing my nail.
All right. Looks like you're wearing it away. Maybe that's from my cats.
I'm trying not to. I'm a very gentle boy. So like when I got to this room and I was like, oh, I have the screwdriver, and I unscrewed it, and it was just like, there's a key, but it's electrocuted. I was just like, fuck, because I'd already had
Maybe
such
I
a
need
hard
to throw
time.
blood at the key.
Yeah, here we go. So yeah, this next one.
So you gotta find, you eventually find like Alessa's room, Alessa the little girl.
Yep.
And I don't remember where this is explained, if this is only explained in the final cutscene, but Alessa, and we explained this all in our first episode, but Alessa is the daughter of Dahlia Gillespie that was, basically sacrificed for this Rosemary's Baby style ritual.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. You go to Alessa's room in the hospital, and there's a door that needs 5 symbols, like the 5 rites or something.
Yeah.
There's like the knife of Melchior, or like, there's all this shit. And that's what each the doors are named
It's
after.
like the Star of David.
Yeah.
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 There's a cross.
I don't know if that's what they call it, but yeah.
No, it's like it's like
yeah,
Ishmael
they call
or
it the
something.
Jewish star. So, and like you find these 5 items, but one of them is the dagger that it's shoved into the fridge, and you go, oh, the chain is unbroken. Do I want to grab the dagger? And you should go, no. Maybe I should think about this, because you can use a ring
Obviously.
to connect the chain. Now, logistically, depending on what type of chain this is, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Are these the chain links? You know how some chain links are like a C, and then like it's like you could like bend it open,
Yeah.
and clamp it back together.
Like my nose ring.
Now what this one looks like.
If that's what that is, that's not strong enough to fucking, unless it's the ring is like some hermetic ring that like has like a magical seal that can keep the monster inside. But basically, there's a one-hit kill dumbass trap here that I think we all lost. I lost like an hour of gameplay.
I'd say I lost.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'd say a good half hour maybe because I died.
Maybe 40 minutes. It was it was enough that I was like, fuck.
Yeah, it killed me right away. Then I tried to take the dagger, and then I was like, if I move fast enough to the side or something, maybe kill me again.
No.
It's an instant kill.
Yeah.
So basically, what happens if you pull the dagger out without fixing the chain, a monster just kills you. And this
It like sucks you into it, and you go,
yeah, it's in a Dead Space style,
very
Resident Evil
slow.
4 style, like cinematic kill.
Yeah.
This is a very classic adventure game kind of thing.
So
It was also frustrating because it was called like the Ring of Binding or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
It had some name that like
slightly
implied
vague.
that
But
like,
even
it would
still-
be used to connect it, but it's still afterwards I had to like leave that room.
I posted on Reddit about it, asking like, did I miss like a hint because everything else in the game is telegraphed so well?
Yeah.
You might not be like looking at it the right way to understand it, but like it's usually your fault if you can't figure out a
Yeah,
puzzle.
but it's
they
all
give you
there.
everything you need.
Yeah.
And if you don't figure it out, that's on you. And this one, I was like, what did I miss? And they're like, well, you don't need to take the dagger. You can inspect the chain and go, oh, it's giving me the choice to take the dagger or not.
Yeah.
It gives you the choice to take everything. So
it does.
I kind of called
That's
bullshit
why,
on that.
That's
Yeah.
why I was like, yeah, I'll
And
take
then
it.
the other thing was, someone said you can hear something like tapping inside.
Yeah,
of
you do.
the
You hear
fridge.
movement.
Yeah,
but
there's
how
if
do
you
I-
listen.
there's movement everywhere.
Yeah,
you
you
never
get-
know
That's why I
what that
didn't-
actually is.
There's also movement inside of the fucking locker, and you open it up, and it's a dead corpse.
yeah.
Or it's a cat. You know
Or
what I mean?
nothing.
So I'm like,
You
yeah,
gotta
or
listen-
literally nothing.
or
yeah.
blood.
If you listen
blood, yeah,
closely,
blood.
if you listen closely and you reverse the audio and you pitch it downward, you hear ring, ring, ring.
I
Actually,
thought that
when-
was a telephone.
Oh, that's right. Well, there are telephones in the game with a lot of
Right.
ringing.
And they go, ring.
To corroborate your first point, yeah, they do, but they speed it up so it sounds like. Your first point, though, like if I remember correctly, the image that it shows of the broken chain, just for the sake of visualizing this, if there's a chain made of 3 links, it looks as though the middle
Link.
link that I just said was like cut vertically.
Yeah, it
and then there's 2
literally-
U's.
Yeah, because if like you're saying, if it was that kind, first of all, probably not strong enough. Second
Right.
of all, it literally was like the middle link was cut in half.
As
Right,
if,
so
like-
how would you be able to seal it with a ring?
Yeah,
There's
you
no-
can't.
yeah.
you
Unless
can't.
it's, you know how those magic tricks where it's like, oh, I can't get them apart, and then
it's together.
Oh,
It's like it's one of those.
Which is pretty ass.
Yeah, and it is, again, this is something that you see a lot in old school adventure games, point and click games, where it's like, oh, you fell for the thing? Yeah, that got me too.
Fuck off.
Good thing you can quick save anywhere, and it's like as simple as going boop, and you just try again, or you figure it out. But it's like this is not that kind of game.
So what happened with me is that I didn't love my time playing Silent Hill. I had some highs. Mostly I was just trying to get through it. I didn't really love this game. It's all right. I really appreciate it. We talked about it a lot. I was at the end of like a couple hour session and I was having a hard time and I finally got to this one and I was like, oh, it's the sword. I better use that. And I got the instant kill and I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
I remember getting the message that was like, are you kidding me that there's an item that you pick up that gives you an immediate game over?
An instant game over. It was granted, it was the only time I died.
And the thing
in the
is,
game.
too, that you need this dagger.
You need it, yeah.
You
Yeah,
have
that's
to
one of the
get
rights you have
dagger.
to put into the door in
Yes.
Alessa's room.
So-
You can't just fucking be like, never mind, I don't need this.
When I got that game over, I was like, I'm frustrated. It's getting late. I'm going to pick this up another day and come at it with a fresh approach. And then a day or so later, I started playing again. I saved right before I went in that room. So I didn't lose any progress. I thought I lost progress, but I was
that's good.
I was right where I was. Like I literally saved and then I went to that room and died. So it was no big deal.
So when you get all 5 of the items, you put them in the door. You are basically entering the final boss chamber here.
Yeah.
Depending on if you did the Kaufman quest and everything, and got the red liquid and saved Sybil, that's how you get the best ending. Because for my ending, you go in. There's like a fucked up person in a wheelchair next to the ghost girl.
A wheelchair
Yeah.
in the basement of
In the
this place?
basement? Someone sitting in a wheelchair?
And there was at some point
Who does
too.
that?
There was like a cutscene. It showed Dahlia like in a house.
When you first enter that staircase, it's like her with Alessa.
Yeah, and like she's like trying to get her to like use her psychic powers and stuff, and it's like it's clear that like Alessa's got like some sort of psychic power from the ritual and
She's
everything, and
being
And
exploited,
Dahlia's
Yeah.
just abusing her.
exploited and abused. Yeah.
And so what you realize is that Dahlia, when she tried to birth the deity through Alessa, Alessa didn't die in the fire, and that her fucked up like body was kept alive and
Yeah.
wouldn't die. And then at some point in the hospital, when you're in the other world hospital, you watch the VHS tape again, you see it in full, and you see that just like Lisa is like, I wish she could die. She can't. Like the
Yeah.
wounds won't heal.
She's like, I won't tell anybody
Yeah.
if you want to just kill her.
Yeah,
We'll kill her right now.
and she can't die. And then like you find that like that Lisa was like being like drugged by Kaufman, and like Kaufman got her hooked, and that's why she couldn't totally remember everything going on in the basement, and blah 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 blah. And so this person in the wheelchair is Alessa.
Yes.
It is what's left of Alessa's body.
Burnt,
I think
charred
she's
body.
alive.
So
still.
basically, the breakdown of what happened, because I read it to be like, what the fuck actually happened with this and in the house, because I wanted to look more into it. What happened was, she was supposed to give birth
To the
to the deity as the house burned and she burned. So that was all on purpose, and they
Yeah,
burnt down
she
the
was
house.
supposed to be like
And then
kind of
Alessa,
sacrificed in that process.
they have never at any point fully grasped Alessa's powers, like the cult, you know what I mean? And Alessa was strong enough to say, no, I'm not going to give birth to this thing. And she split her soul into 2.
right.
One of it left and became...
She manifested a newborn child that
Yes.
appeared on the side of the road
Yes.
that Harry and his wife picked up.
which is Cheryl. And then the other half of her soul split off, and by doing that, by manifesting that thing, the other part of her soul that was left became immortal and was trapped inside of this burnt body. So that's why they couldn't kill her. That's why she's still alive.
She split when she was dying in the fire.
No, she split in
She
order
didn't die
to...
in the fire.
She didn't die in the fire. She split in order
just
to
got
stop
mutilated.
the birth from happening. The birth was going to happen, and in order to stop it from happening, she split her soul, effectively splitting her power,
Yeah.
which means that she wasn't powerful enough to give birth to the demon, fucking up the whole ritual, and then she just burned. You know what I mean?
And what the ghost girl was doing. So when the car crash happened,
It's because Alessa was in the road.
astral projected herself into the road, caused the crash, and then the projection of Alessa and Cheryl's soul basically merged into one being. So Cheryl died in the car accident, essentially. Cheryl as we knew her, as Harry knew her, but she merged back with Alessa. So there's like the astral projection version of Alessa, which is like merged Alessa, Cheryl and Alessa together, and there's Alessa's body that's stuck in the body that's in the wheelchair. And when you see Ghost Girl Alessa around the game, like when you're in the lighthouse and she's like making that mark, and you're like, damn, I was too late. And like Dahlia is telling you, like, don't let her make the marks. That's the mark of the demon. What those marks are actually seals to keep the deity from being born. She's trying to seal off that deity so it can never come into our reality.
Like Alessa stopped you to get you into Silent Hill to help her stop this from happening.
Yeah.
And now Dahlia has manipulated you into undoing all of that, effectively.
Yeah.
Is
So
there
what you've
anywhere-
been doing until now, you've actually been taking all the steps to summon the demon, effectively, by doing all the things that Dahlia's been
Because
telling
you're
you to
being influenced by Dahlia. Is there anything in the game that tells you that you, like, he mentions at some point that his wife is dead.
do. Like at the beginning of the game.
Yeah. Is there anything that clues you into how he got Cheryl? I guess you don't really, it's not super
He
important
says,
to know.
I picked her up on this. He says to Sybil at some point, I'm not sure exactly when. This is why you don't know that, because it's after you save her.
After you save Sybil.
Oh,
Yeah, at
if
the
you
amusement
don't
park.
murder her, yeah.
He says,
I shot her with a lot of bullets.
yeah, if you save her, he says, Cheryl's not actually my daughter. Me and my wife found her on the side of the road.
And then my wife died. And now I'm at Silent Hill.
And now here we are.
Did you know that?
You know that, Sybil?
Hey,
Sybil's like, I don't
Sybil,
worm just
Sybil.
crawled out of my back.
Sybil. He's pushing her. Sybil, hey.
Sybil, look what I can do.
Hey,
Look, I
Sybil.
Hey, check this out.
then he dies.
Sybil, do you know that there's like
hops up.
another world? And it's like different.
Sybil, is there like a nightmare world? Are you going into like this nightmare world all the
Sybil.
time? I'm like, sometimes I close my eyes, I open them up, and
Will you buy me cotton candy?
Sybil, sometimes when I hold my breath for a really long time, I...
My face goes
Watch
red.
if I
Never mind.
If I tense up really hard and I go... Sybil, watch.
That was, he farted when he did
He
that.
farted.
That was what that
His creaky door opened.
So I squeeze hard enough, Sybil will fart.
Okay,
Sybil,
so
did
well,
you know that if I hold the blanket over my head and then I toot, it's a Dutch oven?
He gets trapped in there and then he's him throwing up under the rug.
Uh-oh, my oven's flooding.
oh, Jesus Christ. Why don't we, because I want to discuss the story at large, but why don't we explain our endings that we had, how we all finished.
Yeah, so my finishing was, I'm like, what the fuck? And Dahlia's like, you idiot, I played your ass. This is your daughter. She's not even around anymore.
Also, she's not, well, she was your daughter.
She's not even
But
a real
then
person.
it was actually my daughter.
Yeah.
But then I killed.
Yeah.
You gotta look it up in the wiki after.
Anyway,
you do this.
fuck you.
Wicca.
The deity's going to be born now. Whatever the deity's. I don't think they even name the deity. But
I don't remember. The
so
demon.
what happens is Kaufman comes running in. He's like, no, this is fucked up. Change the world back to how it was.
First thing to mention that'll be different for Andrew, I believe, is when you get down there, Sybil's there holding Dahlia at gunpoint.
Oh no,
right,
shit!
uh-huh.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think she shoots at her and does nothing.
The whole gang's
Like,
there.
it effectively goes ting off of her. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
she's
Okay.
like being like powered by like Alessa somehow. Like,
I was completely solo. So just to recap, I didn't do anything with Kaufman, and I killed Sybil.
right.
And I was playing. Is the difficulty a factor? Can
No.
you get the? Okay.
No, it's the same endings. We're at the
So
same.
Thank God, that's
Sybil's
kinda
there. Kaufman comes in. He's like, "This is fucked up." Mm-hmm. Like Kaufman was part of the order. He was part of the cult, and he did help arrange this. But he's just like, "This has gone over the line. Like I'm not okay with what the world's becoming. Like you need to change things back
Yeah.
now."
And that's
Fuck
after he
this.
like comes out of nowhere and like successfully shoots Dahlia.
Yeah.
Because Dahlia's not paying attention when Kaufman rolls in and he fucking
Yeah.
blasts her. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And,
And
but she's
then-
fine. You know what I mean? She's good.
It's all right.
And then like Alessa and Ghost Alessa like merge into one being, like that's like a robe and like white light, you know, which is the incubator, which you fought as the final boss.
I fought that as the final boss.
But
yeah.
what happens in the good ending is the incubator then gives birth to the incubus, which is basically Baphomet. It's Baphomet.
It's Baphomet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you fight Baphomet, and then
But before that, before you fight Baphomet, when
And
she's
then after
when
that-
she's the incubus or the incubator, I mean, fucking Kaufman takes the fucking vial and he's like, no.
he throws it.
He's
at
like,
her.
take this, bitch. You
dumb bitch.
Fucking hucks it and it blows up on her. And Dahlia's like, you're throwing down right now.
But that's what causes the birth. Basically.
Yeah, but that instead that's what makes him makes the deity become Baphomet. Or I mean,
Is that the only way that happens?
Yes,
I believe
you
so. I
can't-
believe
you
that's
can't
the only
fight
way you
the
fight
other boss
Baphomet.
otherwise. Mm-hmm. And so
So what if you have Sybil, but not Kaufman? Does she help you fight?
Oh no, she doesn't help you in the final battle
yeah,
at all.
she can't
No,
help you.
no.
She like gets her ass knocked out or something.
Oh, okay.
Like she's useless.
I don't remember. Yeah, she gets like blown back by the.
But
That's
once you
such
fight the incubus,
So one more question: Do you fight? You don't fight the incubator? at
No,
all?
because she's there for just a moment, and,
Okay,
and
and
then
then
like Coffin
then he
chucks
throws
the
it?
shit
Okay.
at her that was in the motorcycle gas
Yes,
tank,
tank, yeah.
and then it becomes the the incubus like disappears or like falls away like a husk, and the
Incubator and incubus.
the incubator and the incubus like rises out, and he's just like this flying Baphomet.
Then he goes, "Pardon me while I burst."
Yeah, and so you kill him. He's not that
says-
hard, but he is at the same time. I mean, we'll talk about Jordan's experience here.
After we hear Andrews.
But basically, you shoot him, you kill him dead, and then the incubus goes away.
Does
the
he-
incubator comes back.
Is it the same? Do you know if it's the same boss fight? Does he have the crazy lightning powers?
Yeah,
shoots
it's
lightning
very
at you.
similar.
All right.
The incubator comes back and she's like, "Thank you, Daddy," and like like it's basically like Cheryl's like, "Thank you, you helped me," but like I'm going away now. Like I can finally rest. And she hands you. She like transferred. Basically, she transferred Cheryl. I believe this is my interpretation of it.
Oh, yeah.
But she like transferred like Cheryl, like the Cheryl spirit part of her into a newborn baby again and gave it to Harry.
Yeah.
And Harry and Sybil are like, okay, and they leave.
Yeah. The place is like collapsing around you, and then like you see like you guys fall, and then she stops and she's like, "I can hold it for a minute," you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like you guys leave, and then she lets it all fucking crumble.
Alessa does that?
Alessa
Or
does
the
it.
Yeah.
incubator?
But funny part that happens during all of this is Kaufman's also trying to get out, right?
Right, this is the last part
Oh,
here.
okay, sorry,
Is
yeah.
that Coffin is still there, and then Lisa Garland, the nurse, comes out of the ground like as if she's burst from hell and drags Coffin down with her.
By, like,
Oh,
the
shit.
He's like, Kaufman's like, "I'm coming with you guys," and he goes to start going, and then suddenly Lisa's just like pulls herself out of hell and grabs him and fucking. You're like,
All right, so
good.
that's certainly a question I'll have. But we want to
Kaufman
finish our
sucks.
endings.
What happened to you?
Sucked. Did you have mostly the same ending?
I had the exact same ending as mine.
Okay, Jesus. So yeah, it's all the rigmarole, and it turns into the incubator. Which did you guys? I thought that was a cool effect.
Yeah.
Like it was actually, I was impressed. Like maybe I should have paid more attention earlier in the game, but I was like, wow, that looks cool. I was like, that's a pretty solid
Well, like,
effect.
frustration from the fight is like the enemy's never really in frame unless you're holding left trigger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for me, I was like constantly just looking at the ground and I couldn't see Baphomet, and I have to like hold left trigger to like look up at Baphomet. You know what I mean? It was funny.
Yes, and it was awkward. If that was established early on as a mechanic, I'd be more okay with it. But like, even the flying enemies you encounter, you can almost always see them without holding trigger. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like, okay, this is actually very reasonable. But I'm not used to doing it, so it's awkward. So I'm not doing it, and so it's
Yeah.
like I'm missing the visuals of this like pretty fucking sick looking boss.
It looked like it was huge.
Yeah. It was
So like,
massive.
and
It was
it was
super
a
cool.
kind of small, not small room, but anyway. What happens for me? It is it turned into the incubator, and maybe Matt, you can cut to the footage, the entire fight that I had with this experience. After Jordan said he was having such a hard time with it, or like it was really tough, super hard, I captured my footage of fighting the boss, and I think I like unloaded my rifle and maybe switched to my pistol and got off another 3 rounds, and it was just dead. It hit me once with electricity, and Harry went ooh, and then, and then I just
said,
continued. I continued unloading, and then
Refreshing.
it was like the greatest evil the world has ever known has been slain. But it's fucking sad. It kind of blows up, and I don't remember all the little details, but like essentially, like yeah, they all like Dahlia's dead, everyone's dead. Sybil's not there. It's just
Right,
I
she's
just
dead.
Sybil's dead. You killed her.
yeah, I murdered her. Coffin is dead somewhere else. It's just Harry, and
Or Kaufman might have just abandoned everything because he didn't get the red vial.
oh yeah, or just like bailed out. I think there's a moment of Cheryl, like Alessa speaks to Harry for a second, maybe as Cheryl, and it's just like, "Daddy, no," or whatever, or like "Thank you" or something, and she disappears. Everything catches on fire. The room starts to collapse. Everything's horrible, and Harry just falls to his knees and elbows, and he's like, "This can't be happening. Not like this." And then it's like Silent Hill, and I was like, Jesus.
And then you get a post-credit scene.
Oh my god, I forgot about the post credit after the goofy ass like
Right, there's a blooper reel.
Family Matters
It's like an outtakes.
like
It is.
introduction, yeah.
It's all the cutscenes from the game, but extended a few more seconds to show like where they broke character after
yeah,
filming.
and being a little goofy
Which I
goofsters.
fucking loved.
I was very
so
appreciative.
good.
That was pretty fun. My
Why not? Why not? Like, you went through hell.
Yeah.
It's so much better than the, like, in Resident Evil 4, I love the post-credits, or it's actually the credits scene.
Yeah.
Where they're showing, like, they're showing
The story
basically all
of
the children getting murdered and
Yeah,
stuff.
like the story
And
of the
it's
Ganados.
like, it's like, not only did you get kind of like I guess this is a good ending, you get, like, this horribly tragic story.
Yeah.
And here it's like, hey, you just went through hell? Have a chuckle.
Which I accidentally skipped in Resident Evil 4. I totally missed that. Anyway, my post-credits scene was it returns to the car crash from the beginning of the game, and Harry's still in the car. There's nobody next to him. He's dead.
Yeah.
He's just
It's just
he's
shot of
been
Harry.
dead the
He's just
entire
been dead the
He's
whole
just dead
time.
in the car. So like probably none of that ever happened. And I was just like fucking what a, like and as I said earlier like it wasn't it was an alright game, but I wasn't having the best time. And then I just got that bummer of an ending. I was just like, fuck. This is a
because
bummer.
the ending, it's a bad ending.
Yeah.
And
it
then
tells
the
you it's-
post-credits scene, it does.
It's a very
You get a
convenient,
rating.
a very convenient. Like
Yeah, it
I'm
tells you
so
what-
glad
I got
it
like
does
good
this.
ending plus or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's 5 endings in total. So it's like not only do you get the bad ending, you also get an ending that invalidates your entire experience.
Yeah, and I was just like,
It
cool.
does that stupid shit that every theory of everybody.
Oh,
maybe he was just dead the whole time.
And it's like that's not canonical. Because the Resident Evil 3, fuck my ass, Silent Hill 3 is a direct sequel of what happens when Harry and his child experience the future.
Okay.
Because don't you play as like Harry's child?
Yes,
But grown up?
who is basically Cheryl 2, and she's like being called Silent Hill.
That's what he calls her.
Cheryl 2. That's
Calls her
terrible.
C2.
C2. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
'Cause it's Cheryl 2.0, and it's like that's just kind of like a mouthful.
A mouthful.
But he never explains it to her.
I think he does. I purposely, because I enjoyed this game so much, and I honestly, I did have my own frustrations with it. Like, I like it a lot. I have a lot of patience for old PC games. I have a lot of patience for old console games. I thought that just the strengths of this game were not in its gameplay. It was really atmosphere and the storytelling, and I liked how layered the storytelling was, where it was like, you really had to pull it apart, and I like that I didn't have to go through, it's like, I know a lot about Alan Wake.
Yeah.
Thanks to the comics, the TV show, the Alan Wake Illuminated book, the Alan Wake Files book. It's like, in this game, you can put it all together through the context the game gives you.
Yeah.
But you have to piece the puzzle together yourself and go, oh, shit, I see these connections now, and it's all contained in one thing. It's just like, you probably do need, and I watched other analyses to get this,
Yeah, full
I
understanding.
didn't play it twice, but if you were there in 1999, you'd have to like put it together through multiple playthroughs.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really cool. Not the great. I mean, I think Silent Hill 2 is lauded as the best in the series. I think I look it up and everything. Like, generally, like most of the tropes that people think of from Silent Hill come from the second game.
Yeah.
It's one of
the
those
second game kind of
Pyramid
eclipsed
Head,
first
the
one.
nurses.
One of
all
those.
the-
Yeah.
There's a meme that maybe I'll try to send Matt if I can think of it, where it's like it's all, the knights around the round table all pointing their sword together to show unity, and like the title is like franchises that like their first game is not like no one cares about the first game, and like it'll and like this is one of those like
Yeah. I wanted to play it just because I wanted to see where the roots came from.
yeah.
And there's a reason why the first one never got a remake. The second one has several ports.
Yeah.
You know?
Did we talk
have-
about our post-credit scene?
No, well, I
Okay.
was, yeah. I just wanted to say, I purposely not look too deep into what happens to Harry and Cheryl
Fair.
2.0.
Yeah.
Because I do want to play through the rest of the series, because I go, you know what? Flawed game, but pretty incredible atmosphere and story in a lot
Yeah.
of ways. I'd love to play something else that's not as much of a pain in the ass.
Dude, I think
I'd
I'm
love to
right.
play
I think
Silent
I'm
Hill
right there
too.
with you. I don't know if I like the story as much, but it gripped me enough that I'd like to see where it goes from there. If it's
these
not,
people could make something even better than this, I'm there for that.
yeah,
You know, because the story is
It's very piecemeal to
Yeah.
you, and it's very much like you can't you missed out on swaths of it just by not doing one side quest. You know what I mean?
I wasn't even aware that I could
yeah,
have done
that
it.
you could have
I just
done it.
was
That's
like,
what I mean. Or if you don't bring the VHS back the second time,
Right,
to the
I
VCR. You know what I
almost
mean? It's
didn't.
like-
I was almost like,
Yeah.
I should just fucking fit. And no,
I just
you know what?
remembered
I'm going back.
The comment he
I just
made
did that in
when I
Resident
went
Evil.
to it was he was like, it seems like it's working better now. Like before you even put the VHS in. He's like, it seems like it's all
Really?
working. So I was like, I guess I'll watch
Okay.
the VHS and then it's all clearer. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And it's like, but
I just
Yeah.
did a big moment in Resident Evil.
you also didn't need to even go near the TV the second time.
No, yeah.
So
No,
like
it
there
makes
was
you
a-
work for it.
There was a impassable part of a room, and the second part of the room was inaccessible because of a thing. And then I got rid of the thing, and I came all the way back, which was really hard. There's nothing else in the rest of the room. I was like, why was this even fucking? It was a useless room. Anyway, I have one story question or clarification before I want to hear you guys' secret post-credit scene.
all right.
Coffin, since I barely interacted with him, even though he's one of the major players of this story. So his whole deal essentially was that he was one of the doctors actively participating in these weird experiments or whatever on Alessa.
There was no experiments going on at all.
Yeah, essentially, he was
They were
part
just
of the cult.
keeping her alive.
He was
Yeah.
part of the cult.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was keeping herself alive.
Well, no,
What were-
yeah, but
and what were
hear,
they-
hear me out.
Oh,
Hear me
sorry,
out.
sorry.
No, can we just keep guessing and you'll tell us?
No, the cult.
Because I like to do that.
Dahlia and Coffin were in the cult together.
Mm-hmm.
The public believe that Alessa died in a fire by accident.
Mm-hmm.
So to cover things up, they had Alessa who wouldn't die. So Kaufman said, we'll hide her in the basement of the hospital.
She was too powerful to die.
Right. And so Kaufman was just part of the cult's cover-up of Lisa's death. I'm sorry, I'm
Alessa?
saying Lisa. Alessa's death.
Mm-hmm.
And Lisa was the nurse that Kaufman assigned to care for her.
And he like fed her drugs and stuff to keep her.
From like, yeah,
Fully understanding what was going on.
Well, it seems like a twofold thing. One, to have control of her, and two, it seemed like whether this is intentional or not, a side effect of the drugs was her memory of caring for Alessa
Yeah.
was very fuzzy.
It seems more like it was just, though, to have something over her and to manipulate her into either moving the drugs for him or not to tell everybody what was
and
going
it does
on.
seem like he also pressured her into sex.
Yes, that is also implied. Which
So-
makes sense why she killed him at the end. By
Yeah.
dragging him
So
dragging
why-
him to hell.
Why does he want to prevent the birth of the demo at
I
the
think
end?
that he didn't know that because what happened was like the fog world and the other world and all this shit that's going on is all psychic projections from Alessa. Mm-hmm. Like her trauma is like her psychic powers are so strong that her trauma is manifesting itself as like almost like a shared hallucination where everyone is in this fucked up world together. And he's like, he just goes like to Dahlia, he's like, change it back. This is fucked up.
Yeah.
And
So
like,
he's like, whoa, I didn't realize it was going to be this
Yeah, he
much.
didn't know.
Like,
he's
let's-
basically he's
like he's in
feeling
over his head
regret
now.
about it. Yeah. He's
Okay,
like,
he's like, I'm a damned man, but I can't let this continue.
basically.
pretty much, yeah.
And,
I mean,
and
it seems like
he
he
thinks
wants.
he's going to get out.
Yeah.
He thinks that like if we defeat the evil, we'll win. And he's like, oh wait,
And
I
I
guess
can
I need
leave.
to atone for my sins too.
And then
don't
Lisa
I?
is
Yeah,
like,
but he didn't do
bitch,
that at all.
yeet.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you got the gist of it.
It's
last-
not very clear. I mean, it's
No.
really not. It's stuff that like some of it, like my deeper understanding of it is like based on watching analysis videos.
Yeah.
And it's not like watching analysis videos where someone's like, now I believe the theory is this. It's like if you read this document, it tells you this. I'm like, oh.
And you
fuck,
get
I
way
just
more context
didn't
from
put it
like
together.
you get way more context, it seems, too, from playing through the rest of the series as well. As far as like context into what the cult is, you know what
Yes,
I mean?
because
And
they
that
don't
shit-
go into the cult
Yeah.
almost at all.
You
I
just
think
kind
you
of
get like
know-
one screenshot of them.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just know that it's a cult. That's it. So some queer religion, as Lisa says. or
As I
whatever,
said,
but, like,
which
it's
almost
not,
as if it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on this gay agenda in America.
I want a men's bathroom.
That's what Silent. That's what Silent Hill's all about.
I want feces on the walls.
Like it used to be.
If
Damn
I'm
it.
not stepping in piss when I'm pissing.
Give me a trough.
God, you ever use the trough of the ball game? You
No,
guys have,
absolutely not,
Ball
no.
game stadium out here.
No, but I used to. When I was very young, we went to like Expo Stadium every now and
Okay,
then.
yeah.
And there was the
Montreal Expos?
Yeah, Montreal Expos. Mhm.
You exposed yourself there.
No, they were just. It was a very shitty baseball team that stopped existing in like maybe 2002, and I went like a few times as a very young kid, and they just had a stadium. It was real cheap to go there. They were a National League team.
Holy shit! I don't think I've been to a ball game forever.
Yeah, last time I went to a baseball game was the Yankees game in 2010.
Damn. Well, pissing in the trough is quite an experience.
There's a
Yeah.
Red Sox game last year that I was one of the little screens. I was one of the little screens.
Oh,
You
wow.
can see me in the background. Of the,
I
behind
almost
third
retched
base.
just now because I'm remembering a video I saw where a guy like walked and he thought that the trough was like a thing you wash your hands in. So he's just like doing this and he's like,
Oh no! I think I've seen that.
oh yeah, okay.
Jesus Christ.
It's piss. It's piss.
I just played.
Seinfeld's there.
That's my favorite episode.
Kramer. Oh, Jerry.
It's
piss.
I just played a festival and it was the third day of the festival.
Just piles of poop and piss
When
and
I
shit.
went into the porta potty, it was just like there's just like lumps of
Oh
shit.
my
and
God.
I'm like, I just need to take a leak, but like I need to look where I'm pissing because you know what I mean. I gotta at least like make once I get the trajectory. I know I got it.
Yeah,
under
well, because
control.
if you hit somewhere wrong, you're just splattering piss all
Right.
over
Yeah,
yourself.
so you'll
Because
know.
it's all like angled back at me. You know what I mean?
45 degrees.
So it's like I can't really
punish you.
risk it.
Designed to get piss on you.
Yeah.
I can't really risk it all for the brisket, which is the name of one of the brisket places that was at the festival.
Risk it for the brisket, baby.
I thought that was gonna be one of the names of the porta potties.
It was. I was just like, oh, I'm just looking at like 3-day-old like turd mountain in this thing.
I have one or two more clarifying things.
Sure.
Absolutely.
The Genesis. Okay, I want to say this
The
is
Book of Genesis. Now,
have you guys read it?
It's so when it said on the seventh day God rested. Is that days as in 24 hours?
like, was it at the end of the 7? Like, was it all the time? This is a side note. I think it's dangerous territory. These games where you ever watch a shit movie where like usually horror movies where at the end you're just like, damn, that didn't really feel like it made any sense. I kind of feel like I wasted my time. I feel like you can accidentally have that experience with Silent Hill if you don't play it correctly.
It purposely puts you into that position. It makes
yeah.
you feel like you fucked up.
I'm afraid that without the context of doing the show and like learning more about the game, and if we didn't have the internet and all this free information about the game, I'd be afraid that I'd have the same playthrough that I did now and just be like, yeah, that game really didn't have a lot to it, man.
One thing you would know is that like it's not uncommon. Like Resident Evil made the set the tone for that kind of stuff, though. So
I wonder-
you probably would have likely had played Resident Evil and known like
Right, there
multiple
was-
endings, good endings, bad endings.
I do wonder if anyone has had an experience.
Sure.
Maybe down in the comments. Maybe it's not Resident Evil or Silent Hill, but in a series where it turns out there's a lot more to it, but the way it's initially presented.
But also,
So-
one thing I'd say it has going for it is, and there are games that don't do this, where it tells you you got bad ending.
It does. It
And
seems
there
like
are
it
some
gives you
games where
enough.
it doesn't tell you that, and you go, what?
Yeah.
That's how the game ends?
That
And someone's like, oh no,
end score-
actually, if you do this, this, and this, you get a good ending.
That score sheet at the end is really what would have motivated me to do it again.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
That maybe that's what prevented people from feeling that way if they had the same experience.
But would it be enough to bring you back in?
No.
It really depends.
Not
I
for
don't
me.
know, yeah.
It's if it was the only game I had, and
Yeah, if I
back
had
in
that
high
and, like
school,
only games. If it was like literally 1999 and I just had my PS1 and I'd played all the other fucking
I
games,
would have gotten every
maybe I
ending.
would've, yeah.
My final question, or in clarification more so, is that the genesis, the catalyst of all these events was that, and to my understanding, Silent Hill was a regular quaint little town, and then people wanted to start turning it into they put the park there, they created a resort tourist area,
Yes.
and then the cult was like, we hate this shit, we're gonna kill all the people responsible, and then how does that manifest into sacrificing daughter into Baphomet?
The cult always existed. Mm-hmm. Not always, but you know what I mean. The cult was old.
As
The
old
pre-
as Silent Hill, just about.
They weren't. It wasn't created as a
It seemed
response.
like it seemed like Silent Hill was their place.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if. I'm not sure. It's plausible that they would be like taking extra measures to protect their land, like, well, we'll bring our deity to this realm, because
Yeah.
because they did kill. I mean, it's not said explicitly, but the fact that
Mysterious deaths.
like they died in accidents. It's like I'm sure the cult killed the people who did the development.
Well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was more about the cult. I think it was more about the cult killing people who were starting to learn too much about the cult or had discovered a little bit too much, who were
That's
part of the
also
development
possible.
or whatever, or who were trying to do something they didn't want them to do for the development.
Yeah.
And my understanding of the timing of when everything happened with the cult was much less to do with the resort town and much more to do with Alessa being born and Alessa having those powers.
Right, it's
And I
like
think
they
it was more
realized
ju-
Alessa had powers, and they're like, she could be the vessel for the deity.
Yes, it's more like right place, right time. You know what I mean? Like, Alessa was born. She started exhibiting these psychic powers. They were like, we can use her. We can do this ritual, and then the ritual going wrong is what resulted in all this horse shit. And
So maybe just the resort thing is just like world
it's
building.
just coincidence.
It's like this was going to
Yeah.
happen regardless of if Alessa was born or not. Okay.
Yeah, it's just like develop. You know, it's like it's a common theme in a lot of Japanese stories. Is like places that were small, quaint, or even rural towns having to deal with like development coming in.
I feel
Yeah.
like any capitalist
changing and
country
exploiting it.
had to deal with that all through like
It's a major theme. A lot of Miyazaki works.
yeah, and even in like the U.S., like, you know what I mean, as like for the past like 50 years, you've been watching that happen all over the country. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Small quaint places. Suddenly, it's like, check out, I'm moving to the new suburb. where
Yeah.
every house looks the fucking same. And
I don't remember if we shared it with each other, but there was a video on YouTube that I think I watched most of that was just like everywhere in the United States looks the same now. Like every strip is the same anywhere you go. Okay, that makes sense. I was trying to connect like that previous.
yeah, and I don't want you to
history.
feel like you didn't get this because of anything. Like I've watched. But I've watched all the. Obviously, Internet Historian's not the most comprehensive guy all the time. Those explain
Yeah.
videos, he does walk you through the
It
whole
is
story.
step by step.
It is step
with
by step.
irreverence, but it is.
Yeah, but it is step by step. I've watched his explained on it, and I watched a few other. Like I think I watched the Did You Know Gaming video on it, and I watched I just like would just
There's a
look
channel.
up.
I'm
Silent
gonna
Hill
say it wrong.
analysis.
I'm gonna put the title here. It's like Gaming Muse or something, or Dark Muse. But this lady did a very, very comprehensive breakdown of like the development of Silent Hill, into the story as well. But like, she went deep, deep, deep into like the development stories and like got as much info on, you know, firsthand statements from the development team as possible and photos of them and their biographies and work they'd done prior and
Fuck yeah.
how they were involved in here and how like just like the saga of making this game, which is like a pretty fucking weird game. And like
Yeah, to say
Konami
the
kind
least,
of
yeah.
lost faith in the project, but they let it go on because games were cheaper back then. It was still like, you know, it was still just coming into the like the 3D era.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the same as like, I mean, obviously, I mean, all the 3D in this game was done by one person who did it to prove that he was a worthy asset to the company.
Yeah.
That's the only reason he did that shit.
Yeah, weren't they all like we talked about in the first episode? Wasn't this kind of like the Misfits development
Yeah, it
team
was like
from
the Breakfast
Konami?
Club.
Yeah,
Yeah. Or like
Or Charlemagne the God. No, it was like a bunch of losers who were like, yeah, they were like ready to jump ship, and they're like, you know, on their last little project.
Cool as hell, man.
it's not the same with that, and we still got to talk about our post cutscene. But that reminds me of a.
Oh, yeah, that
In
was-
Warhammer 40K, there's like a chapter of the Space Marines that are like guys that didn't like the remaining members of other chapters that like were all traitors, and those were the guys that didn't, and then they kind of just like, or they're like criminals, and like their last like.
It's like the Brotherhood Outcasts.
Pretty much, yeah. Where they're just like, we did some bad shit, but we still are loyal, and we can redeem ourselves pretty much by just going on continuous suicide missions until we die, and then hopefully in our deaths that will redeem us.
Viewers of the show might not know that I am a avid fan of newspaper comic strips, going back to like the like.
Is your shirt loss?
Yes. Going back to
newspaper.
I like web strips too.
All right.
Come on, man. Penny Arcade,
So you're not just
incredible.
you're not just the angry newspaper comic
No,
nerd. You're
no,
also you change it to the angry comic nerd.
I can cringe at all types of comic strips. But you know, I have an appreciation for strips going back to the advent of graphic storytelling. You know,
That's why I got you a dill burrito for your birthday last year.
it was very gross.
Not because it was old.
No. But now I have new ideas about women. That the joke is that Scott Adams is a violent misogynist.
It's a funny joke.
I meant to send you this thing that I didn't, where I think it's Jeffy. Might
The
be
killer?
Billy, actually. It's Billy from Family Circus, and he's saying something like, I don't want to be a ghost for Halloween this year. I want to be Commander something something of the Blood Ravens of the something in
Jesus.
Warhammer 40K.
Oh, I've seen this.
It's real.
Is it real?
Oh, they didn't put armor on him.
Oh, okay. Maybe I've seen an artist rendering of him.
Oh.
It's like, yeah.
It was just very funny that it was actually a published Family Circus.
Are they
strip.
in English?
Is he the author of
Yes.
Family
Oh,
Circus
okay.
is a horrible misogynist? Is that what you're saying?
No, that's
No,
from,
I just thought it was funny. I thought it was funny that I saw a Warhammer reference, and I'm in a. I don't use Facebook for anything except for the Plattsburgh Street Team, and I'm in 3 different comic strip. I have friends on Facebook, but I've muted all their posts. I don't follow anyone's social media, almost anyone. So it's just message boards for me.
yeah.
Which I really love. I miss the message board era of the internet.
Yeah.
And so it's a nice
was
to kind
strong.
of return to that and go, I don't care about people's feeds. If you have something you want to share, especially on a topic I care about,
I want to see it.
I like that. I think that's why Discord's popular with a lot of people. It's very simple.
That's mostly what I use Facebook for as well.
So I was just very surprised to see a Warhammer reference in a published Family Circus strip.
That's very funny to me because I've seen like his little tiny baby head on like a Space Marine. And I was like, oh, it's just like a funny like
and it makes me wonder, like
mashup.
What is the author of the creator, not the creator, but the current I don't know, artist on Family Circus know about Warhammer.
Yeah.
Is he
Yeah.
into it? Could be. I mean, I remember guys were into Warhammer and shit when I was a very small child.
It's especially.
It's not new.
I broke your chair a little bit.
Yeah, I've been telling you to stop picking at it, and you said I'm not. I'm very
just,
gentle.
I'm just stroking it.
You understand what you're doing, though, right?
You're taking like weak areas of the chair, and you're like,
Well, no, but I mean, just like
doing it over and over
if you
and
do,
over.
if you rub any fabric long enough, you're creating friction, and you are just wearing away
I'm
the fabric
just,
and you're peeling some of it away.
I forgot my fidget spinner at home, so I have to do something.
That's okay. I'm just saying, like that's why he's concerned. Is
play
because
with your, strings
you
in your
are
hoodie.
effectively just picking
my-
at the fabric out of his chair.
My aglets.
What I would do if I were you is I'd take
Yeah,
those
what
two
would you-
strings, I'd twirl them like this, like I had a little mustache.
Little Fu Manch. Little Fu Manch going on.
Any kind, really. Bicycle.
handlebar,
But please, tell me what was your post-credit scene?
Oh, I believe it was the same post-credit scene that you got, and it was honestly pretty fucking uneventful. It's just kind of like Harry is like they walk away, they're like standing near a fence or whatever. Harry's
have the
like
baby.
holding a baby with Sybil, and they like looking
My
at the
baby.
baby.
But it's an echo of the same scene of Harry and his dead wife, now dead, holding Cheryl.
Yes,
And what I don't know is, does he wind up with Sybil?
that's what
They
it
start
seems
fuck-
to
they start
imply.
fucking probably.
It seems to imply is that, like,
any woman I go through a traumatic experience with, I
her.
gotta fuck them.
I
Yeah.
gotta.
I don't know how to exist otherwise.
I'll never be able to recover from the trauma if I
And
don't
any
get
woman
to.
that
I
I
can't
fuck,
nut.
I need to then put them into a traumatic scenario.
Sometimes it's one and the same. You get a double.
This is
Depends
a
on the
joke.
fuck.
I think there's a deeper issue.
That is a joke about how I only got into bad relationships because I only ever saw examples of bad relationships that were very traumatic and thought that was normal. That's the joke, okay?
That's
I'm in
the
a very
joke.
healthy relationship now. I've grown because I'm an adult.
We're all trying to get
I
there.
can learn how to fix my problems over time.
He's not growing where it matters.
Oh, my hemorrhoids are huge.
I haven't checked in a while. That
They're
was
like
my
it's like
fault.
another ball sack coming
I
out
was
of
sticking my
asshole.
neck out on that one. It hadn't really. Like, you got another set of balls.
Another set of
They're
testicles
suspended.
coming out of my asshole. Just blood sacks.
I guess
So-
overall, Silent Hill, eat it or yeet it.
Eat or yeet. Silent Hill, I'm gonna give it an eat.
No. But very seriously, I would recommend this game to people with a huge caveat.
I would give it like a 7 out of 10 with again you have to pull like a Space Odyssey with this 2001: A Space Odyssey, where you have to put yourself in the context of the time and you have to take it with a grain of salt.
I think it's like I think I said to Andrew, I think it's like a 10 out of 10 for 1999.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like a 7 or 8 out of 10 for me now.
But if
But it is a 10 out of 10 if you can put yourself in a 1999 scenario. My God,
Yeah.
it's so and it is even better than Resident Evil in it. Not I shouldn't say better, but like it's a little more advanced in some of its
Inventory management.
like stuff like that where it's like, yeah, you can pick up the ammo. Why wouldn't you be able to pick up the ammo?
Yeah.
there's not the artificial difficulties added in.
Yeah.
Right, which Resident Evil grew out of pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But just thinking about the first games in the series, like this understood it was able to build off of the mistakes that Resident Evil made.
Yeah.
I'm saying mistake, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Well, it's like the
I think it's a mistake
shortcomings.
because it's the kind of stuff where in the
gotta-
second game they were like, we're not doing that again.
Yeah.
I would call it a mistake, but they're like growing pains, kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Really is what it is.
Yeah.
Because when you're the
Stuff
first
you-
person to do something anything. You can go back and look at like the people who started a genre of music and be like, listen to them play the fucking guitar, it sounds like shit. You're like, well, yeah, because they were just figuring out
don't know,
that you
do
can
it,
fucking
yeah.
like shred, you know what I mean? Or like that you don't just have to,
Like
you know what I mean? I don't know.
guitar tone in those times can be rough on the ears.
I'm sure, yeah, and you're
And I'm
like,
like,
wow,
that's
that
just what
sounds
they
horrible.
liked?
But you're like, yeah, but that's just like that's what they could do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's what.
Meanwhile, back then they're like, "Oh, his guitar tone's ridiculous."
Yeah,
and I'm
I
like
know.
that.
I mean,
cutting my ears
Just
open.
like between $3 bill, y'all, and
Hot Dog
still
Flavor
sucks.
Rock.
Or whatever the
Yeah, Limp Bizkit still sucks.
big difference there.
worlds apart.
Separate ways. I think I would be
Remember
wary.
the Ada Wong DLC?
Oh yeah, sorry,
Yes.
not the Journey song. I would be hesitant to recommend this game to a modern younger gamer. I would super have to be like, understand what you're getting yourself into, because I think gameplay nowadays, I'd say it's a 5 out of 10. Gameplay wise, story cool, atmosphere awesome. I did not
That's like,
enjoy
overall, I gave it a 7.
everything I did with a controller. I didn't enjoy, but everything else I did enjoy.
And
What other games came out in '99? Resident Evil 3, Max Payne. No, Max Payne's 2001. Max Payne was
Ocarina
supposed to
of
come out in
Time?
'99. Ocarina of Time,
Ocarina of Time came out in 99.
which is also awkward.
It is also awkward.
It is pretty fucking awkward.
Yeah, that's I don't deny that at all.
I haven't played it recently.
'99 was a long time ago for gaming. I mean,
It's
there
one
was
of those,
huge jumps in coming up with a consensus on how 3D controls
Yeah.
should work.
And if you're just like, I would say that like if you are like,
Sorry.
What?
I'm
Go
just
ahead.
thinking of, it's like when you're playing a side scroller for the NES, and you're like, up is jump?
Ugh,
instead of
yeah.
A,
Like,
instead of
fuck.
A or B, yeah. Mm-hmm.
How did they not
100%.
know this?
And you go, what the fuck? That's what it's like to play Silent Hill. You're
Yeah.
like, really?
This is how I turn and walk around.
I had a
This
lot
is
of
how
those
I aim and
moments.
shoot.
I would say if I did do the new game plus, I'd have a great time with this game. Though,
It's
'cause,
it's much more of a breeze. There's not as much of the cryptic bullshit. You can just
because
what's going on.
your expectations they're set because I did it.
And if you do what I do and you have some Game Shark cheats in there,
yeah, invincibility.
I don't know how to
we
take
didn't talk
them off.
about that.
Oh, yeah,
so,
we didn't.
So
We didn't.
your experience was you played the game on normal, but we both played on easy.
I played it on the harder difficulty and like
You played on normal. Don't say hard.
harder than you. I said the
down.
harder difficulty.
Yeah, but
than
still,
you.
it's
That's fair. It
disrespectful
wasn't
to
hard.
people who played on hard.
Okay,
you
that's
played it
right.
on normal.
I played it on normal and had a very difficult time with the second half of the game. First half, I'd say I'd had the same experience you guys did. Plenty of ammo, plenty of health.
I remember you saying so.
And clearly the move is that I should have avoided more fights or used my melee weapons more early on.
Yep.
To save and conserve that stuff for the later game.
Can save
But
and
also,
conserve.
can save and conserve.
It's sorry. It seems like this game it is a lot.
That's the motto of the Silent Hill police.
Can save and conserve.
I feel like it's a lot more viable to actually run away than it was even in Resident Evil that I'm playing so far.
But yeah, Resident Evil, you're way more like trapped. It's more open in Silent Hill.
It's like you have a narrow hall. Whatever.
No, I was looking for the iPad. I wanted to look up a note. But thank you for the water.
There'd be like narrow hallways with like two zombies. You're like, I can't.
But
get
I
past
was
them.
also like, I
So fucking
I
frustrating.
started out the
sometimes, that
game a little bit ahead of you guys, and then took
Yeah.
a few days off. You guys got ahead of me, and based on all your notes that you were sending me, you were like, "Yeah, you still have plenty of ammo. Everything's great." Like, I feel like I've never run out of health stuff, so I'm like, "Okay."
I read up on the game, and people were
Yeah.
like, even on normal mode, you'll never run out of ammo.
I did.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Let's just put it as this: I did run out of ammo. Everyone. I also ran out of all of my health items, and I was running around every time I found ammo. I'd either have to I'd try to
Instantly.
save it, but I would usually run into a scenario where it was like,
I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna die because I
Yeah.
had no health. I was at least yellow or red the entire time. Every health drink I found had to immediately take it.
Did you find a little bit? It was like Matt live streamed the Star Fox 64, and that's one of those games where it's like I don't know exactly how to say this concisely. Like at the beginning of the stage, like if you know where all the power ups are, like and you get all the power ups, the game almost becomes easy so long as you keep them.
Yeah.
But if you lose them, you're just kind of in a permanently fucked state. Is it
Yes.
is that where you found yourself?
Kind of where I found myself. But
Not
it
that's
was
not
like-
a great analogy in Star Fox. You can bring yourself
the
back.
reality is that I found literally up until the final boss fight, I found that I really could get through the game. No ammo, no health kits. If I played it safe, I was careful, I ran when I needed to, only killed stuff when it was like, I mentioned to Matt in the first episode where it was like, you could decide at times whether or not these two enemies in the hallway were worth you killing, because you go, do I have to come
Right.
back to this hallway 5 times? or am I in here once? Usually if it was the second time I had to come back to the hallway, I'd go, okay, I gotta kill these guys.
Yeah.
Clearly I'm gonna have to come through here more than once. It took a lot more thought by the end, and then I got to the final boss, and there's a 45-minute recording that I did of me starting the boss fight, unloading. So I did have some ammo. To say I had no ammo, you know what I mean? I had 18 shots for my rifle, I had 6 shots for my shotgun, and no pistol ammo.
Oh my god.
Uh-huh.
That's rough.
So that's what I had.
I mean, all your
don't
ammo's in the
believe I had any
strongest
pistol.
guns,
Maybe I had
but, like-
maybe I had 15 shots for my pistol. I think I had 15 shots for my pistol. But so I have like basically the lowest amount of ammo you can have for almost all those guns. You know what I mean? The rifle I've got
Yeah.
a fair amount. So it starts out, I've got the timing down to where I know I can get off 6 shots from the rifle, pause, go to my inventory, reload through the inventory away, go back out, and get 4 more shots off before I have to run because the lightning's going to come at me. Now, my health is at red, so the moment a single lightning bolt hits me, I'm dead.
Yeah.
I don't know how many he fires at you in easy, or if he fires more or less in normal. He fires 4 in a row in normal.
Oh my god.
So he shoots 1 at you, then he shoots another one, and then he shoots like 2 simultaneously.
Yeah.
And I'd run up, he'd shoot the first one, and I'd dodge it. I'd hop back, dodged. Then I'd run back forward, and the second one would hit me. So then I tried doing, I had gotten the timing down where I could sometimes dodge the first 2 lightning bolts, no matter what those last lightning bolts seemed like they were, honed in to hit me. I looked up strategies and tried to be they're like, you have to run zigzag. So I was like, all right, run zigzag. Every time I tried to run zigzag, the first lightning bolt hit me. And every time the lightning bolt hit me, I died. It was about 30 seconds of gameplay every time for me dying. I have 45 minutes of this.
God.
Of me, reloading, going in. And so finally Matt goes, I found something. If you don't have any ammo in any of your guns...
I think this was on GameFAQs.
And I need you to know, it wasn't like Matt just saying this LOL, but he screen capped it and sent it to me.
It was posted in 2001.
Yeah.
This is an old GameFAQs post.
Yeah. And so it's if you have no ammo in your guns, it'll register that you don't have any ammo, and that triggers the game, the boss fight to end.
Because how could you fight him?
Yeah, how can you fight him? And so that's the idea. Because you can't even hit him with your melee weapon. Trust me, I tried. You can't reach him.
No.
Oh, really?
You,
Okay.
you literally can't. He's
You
flying.
literally can't reach him with the melee weapon.
Is he mobile? Does he stay in place?
No, he starts out in the middle and he stays there for half a second, and then he starts floating around.
Oh, I don't know.
He is several feet above your head.
Yeah, you can't even see him.
The incubator, I don't know if it's because I just blasted her so fast, but she stays
The
right
incubator
where
doesn't really move, to my memory.
Yeah.
Incubus up in the air flying around.
Holy piss, dude.
So I waste all my ammo in Alessa's room, right?
Just blind firing.
Just blind firing. If you just hold down the trigger, you just keep shooting. You don't have to hit it over and over again.
Which that's a nice touch. Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're trying to waste ammo.
Yeah, and in games that survival horror games, I don't care. Sometimes it matters if a gun's automatic or not, but I'd rather just if I'm holding it, just keep shooting.
Because I got a lot of hints also while dying. One of the things, the longer that you aim, the more accurate you are. So the more time you take in between shots, the more accurate your shots are. In Silent Hill. Which makes sense, you know what I mean? Because if you're just going, boom, 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 you know what I mean? You're probably
wouldn't-
whereas if you're boom,
And taking a second to re-aim, yeah.
Mhm. But, so I do that, go down, I'm like, okay, no ammo, boss fight starts, I'm like, all right, should end any second now, right? Should end any second. All 4 lightning bolts hit me at once. I go, okay, you know what? These games have trigger points, you know what I mean? Where
Maybe
you
I
cross
didn't
a certain
go the threshold.
So I leave Alessa's room, and I'm at the top of the stairs, you know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, I'm in this area now, technically. Unload all my ammo there, same thing happens. I go, Matt, you're a liar.
You fucking idiot liar.
Matt, you're a fucking idiot liar.
You're
I hate you.
stinky.
He apologized.
I didn't know, I got bad intel.
He
I didn't try it.
apologized. It was very funny though.
But what I want to know
Genuinely.
is that dude that posted that, was it trolling? Probably, but also maybe that's just something he heard. That was the thing that you heard on the playground.
It was a zeitgeist, yeah.
Or at lunch, you know what I mean, in high school, and then they just stayed with him.
Yeah. Or maybe
oh, did you hear about with Silent Hill? You know what's crazy about that game?
Maybe
The
the
final
trigger's
boss.
Trying to make up for all the times that you've given us bad intel on games.
Me? I've always given you the best intel.
But then I inevitably just had to look up Game Shark cheats.
Damn.
And give myself. I gave myself.
Well, it sounds like you fucked yourself. Where are you gonna? Because the ammo doesn't regenerate.
Well, it
in this
wasn't.
game, I don't
so
think.
the thing is, it turned out that I did have enough ammo to defeat him. What fucked me
enough
was
health.
not having any health.
Because you have to take a couple.
You have to take at least 2 lightning hits. Because you have to get hit the first time, and you have to get hit the second time he attacks. you can't dodge all 4 of his attacks.
Are they guaranteed hits?
It's fucking.
It's like a hit scan.
if you
Wow.
watch my footage, you will also believe that it is a guaranteed hit.
I did find, and you guys said the
It
other.
was a 1-hit kill. So if I
Yeah.
had a little bit more health, because after that it only took me like 2 rounds of his attacks to unload all my ammo on him and kill him.
That's a bit of an
But
do we feel like that's an oversight in the development?
nope, I feel like that is intentional, and I feel like what I did is I
Why?
fucked myself. I feel like I fucked myself.
But what
and
if you
I
didn't?
feel like
How?
in 1999, because I didn't conserve my shit. I just wasted all my ammo on enemies that I didn't need to early in the game. And by doing that and by fighting every enemy, I got hurt more. And the fact that I didn't have any ammo when I got to Mothra made me use all of my fucking health kits on Mothra so I'd survive that and get through it. You know what I mean? So it's the poor decisions I made earlier in the game led me to this
That's a
position.
big perspective thing, because then it's also, I feel like, I don't know if I personally feel this, but like my initial gut was like, well, you should still be able to play the game, but
Not back
hey,
then, man. I feel like
it
now,
sounds like
in a
you're-
modern setting, in a modern scenario, if I was playing The Last of Us Part 2 and I did that to myself and I couldn't beat the game because I used too much ammo earlier in the game, horse shit, dog shit, horrible game.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
but with-
1999 Silent Hill meant to be replayed. I fucked myself and I've just got to
a
start it
little
over.
bit more fair, yeah.
It's not like conserve ammo in survival horror.
It's a new concept.
It's like kind of the whole fucking point
know.
of those games.
I know. And that's where I just really had to accept. I used the Game Shark thing just because I didn't want to start the entire game over.
Yeah.
And I had been using one save file the whole time. I didn't do multiple. So when I reloaded, it was just like, you're in Alessa's room. I'm like,
still, yeah, like
cool.
what are you gonna do?
I
Leave?
can't do anything.
You
I'm
can't
in
leave.
nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't. So yeah, I just fucked myself basically, and I was like, all right.
That's
I have
another
to accept
aspect
it.
of that kind of gamer mode that you have
But
to
I
switch
cheated.
into.
Yeah,
Bastard.
because a lot of games nowadays will kind of like allow you an out from when you fuck up,
Yeah.
which I don't like, and I do like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it depends on how it's designed, because like a lot of games can be designed in such a way where it's like, cool, did none of my fucking decisions matter at all to this point? Like, maybe you made bad decisions and you have to deal with it. And I think there are games like, I think Wasteland is a great opportunity to talk about that kind of stuff, where it's like, you can make bad decisions and you get to the end of the game, you're like,
I'm
wow,
fucked.
I fucked myself. But I totally see how I did it. I had many chances to turn away from this.
Yeah.
You know, like at the last moment, I lost. There's sort of like a moment of truth kind of thing where you go, hey, you're either for this or against this. There's a final decision. And your party members, one by one, will say how they feel. And you knew their allegiances ahead of time.
Yeah.
You knew their
But
motivations.
even some of them can be swayed by the experiences you have with
Right.
them. Yeah.
So it's like, it's the kind of thing where you go, damn, I was in the last fight, I lost my sniper, which means like I had almost only close and medium range attacks.
And earlier in the game, you lost your healer, I think, right?
Oh, maybe. I don't know about that.
I thought you said you lost your
No,
healer.
I lost my healer and my sniper. I'm sorry. Yeah, I lost both. Yeah.
Those are crucial party members
Right.
in Wasteland.
And and they were respect all the way into those things. So it wasn't impossible to finish the game.
Yeah.
But I was at a disadvantage. It did make it harder, but the game was balanced in such a way where it's like, you fucked yourself, but we're going to give you a way to redeem yourself. Whereas older game mentality is, you fucked yourself, now play the game again.
yeah.
And
But
it's like, is that better? Is it not? I think that that kind of like, you fucked yourself, play it again, is a holdover from like arcade mentality, where it was
Yeah.
like, you
You
know,
lose, idiot, do it
like,
again. Like-
you don't gain anything by punishing the player. Like having
No.
like a finite number of lives.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of it. Finite number of lives. The only reason you should have that in a game is because you're monetizing it.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, otherwise, yeah, maybe you get X number of lives and you have to like start over. But you're not like making the experience better for anyone involved
No.
by making someone start from this top. of the
Because it's
game.
like either way, if you're gonna keep dying and trying again, you're just gonna keep trying and dying
Right.
and trying again. You know what I mean?
But
Yeah.
it doesn't like make the game any better or worse. It doesn't make
No.
it doesn't give you any more sales.
No.
if I was
But in
responsible,
arcade, you get more sales by kicking them over.
Because I mean, like we mentioned it earlier, but like it always seems like everybody's just trying to get people to play a video game for as long as they fucking can.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Every developer ever is just like, play this for hopefully years. You know what I mean?
Right, which is weird, you know, because that is a return to the arcade mentality.
And it's
when
because now
usually-
everything's pay to play kind of, so it's like
Yeah.
you keep people on with seasons and more content. And
Yeah,
stuff.
that makes sense, but it's it's not sustainable in the same way as
No,
as,
it's
pumping
gonna-
in quarters like
Yeah.
every
Second.
75 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do.
once a month. You know,
Yeah.
every now and then you do that.
I think it's really strong that games nowadays, one of my favorite things is that if this game was made right now, if you found yourself in that scenario, you could probably still dodge. It's like, okay, you
Right.
fucked yourself, you don't have any supplies, you should have done that, but if you get good right now, you could
Well,
still
that's where
win.
I was at. I was very much in the mindset where I was like, if I figure out the pattern of the attacks, if I dodge them, I will get it. And then I was like, I had to get to a point where I was like, I am pretty confident right now. I can't. I can't.
You don't have the defensive moveset.
No.
You
Because
know.
it doesn't matter if I sidestep. The only thing that would occasionally save me was the jump back. But then
never
there's such a
found use for
pause.
those, yeah.
You jump back and you can dodge that one, but then there's a pause before you can move again.
Yeah.
And before that pause is over, you get
You're
hit by
already
another
getting
single.
Well, real quick, I want to go over this. So,
Yeah.
how the ending system works, to get the good ending, you'd have to, you need to get the Aglio-Fotis vial, which is like a thing. It's been mentioned in different texts and fictional works throughout history. It's, it's an elixir, and you need to save Sybil. And you find the Aglio-Fotis. And I've watched a bunch of videos, and everybody goes,
I did that
no
earlier.
one knows how to say it.
I did it earlier.
I've never heard a correct pronunciation of it.
Aglio-Fotis.
I'm sure there's one out there, but I don't know how to say it. It's Agliofotis. It seems Greek.
That's what I was thinking.
I don't know anything about Greek.
Aglophotus. I don't know.
That's a fair guess. That's a fair guess. So the good ending. You need to save Kaufman, and you need to kill Sybil in her parasitic form for the good ending.
But
For the good plus ending, you need to save Kaufman and save Sybil.
Because you killed Sybil and didn't save Kaufman.
Right.
I'm a
so there's
bastard.
the
I didn't
bad
mean to-
ending.
No, yeah.
I didn't know.
The bad ending, you do not find the vial, and you kill Sybil.
That's me,
Then
baby.
there's the bad plus ending, where you do not find the vial, but you do save Sybil. And then,
How do you do what? That's impossible.
no, you can save Sybil because you have the plastic bottle, and you scooped up the liquid, you
Yeah.
threw it at her,
The vial is separate.
but you didn't find the vial on the motorcycle.
Oh, sorry.
Then there's the UFO ending, where you need to find the sounding stone
Where the band-
in the convenience store.
That's the ending I'm going for in my new fear.
This is why I need to know. How do you know how to use the sounding stone? I wonder if there's a way to trigger it. I haven't looked into this.
I haven't gotten to the first trigger point yet, which is
So,
in the school court. The school
On the rooftop of the
roof.
nightmare school, I'm saying nightmare, but that's what it says here. But that's the otherworld school for
Yes.
our terminology.
Yes.
In the Otherworld Hospital front courtyard, just before fighting the float stinger boss on the Kuntz Street rooftop. Used it again at the parking lot of the Norman's Motel. Again on the boat cabin on the lakeside pier after speaking to Sybil and Dahlia.
The first time you're in the boat.
Yes. In the Otherworld resort area. Then on top of the lakeside pier lighthouse in the Otherworld.
So I don't know. It's one of two things. I watched a video of them doing all that, and I can't tell. It seems like there's a sound being emitted that you might hear. And the other thing is,
That would be enough.
it seems like there's a visual cue if you're holding left trigger and like looking up.
Right, you see a light in the sky.
You see a light in the sky. But I don't know if the
Love it.
if the sound happens, then
Such
you
bullshit.
activate the sounding stone and it triggers you looking up, or if you
Right.
look up and that's how you know.
And
to
did you
use the
look at?
sounding
Did you
stone.
watch the Alien?
No, I forgot. I think I had
it's
it.
very funny.
It's fucking super funny.
Basically, he goes, "That light in the sky, huh?" And then
And I'm pretty sure you don't go to the amusement park or anything
no,
in the Alien.
you're
It
at
happens
the
on the-
you're at the lighthouse.
Yeah.
you know?
The game ends almost
Prematurely.
prematurely.
Yeah.
Yes, entirely prematurely. Aliens come down, and he goes, "What? Have you seen a little girl?" And they bring him onto the ship and like fly away with him. And
goes,
they
"Oh my
have
think-
you seen my daughter? It's a bunch of grays.
I think they shoot
go-
him.
Yeah, they go. He goes, "Have you seen my daughter Cheryl?" And they blast him, and then they take him on the ship and fucking leave.
And that's
And
it.
then,
and then it's
I'll
just,
play the song here. I'll play the song for Andrew because you need to hear this.
I'm picturing the aliens from South Park.
It is. It's just like
Pretty
the gray
much.
big head aliens
Yeah,
with the
it's
limbs.
stick bodies.
That's exactly what it is. And they're
We're
in
gonna-
like classic flying
We're gonna
saucers.
pause in the video so you can see this because I'll put this in because this is
I meant to watch it. I forgot to.
sorry. Let me ask you, have you seen a little girl around here? Short, black hair.
I liked in that little dog, or not the dog, in the alien ending, it sounded like that beginning clip where he's like, sorry. That sounded like a real outtake. Like they just cut him like goofing
I
up a
like
line.
that he's just like,
and then immediately
it's
after.
a little embarrassing. I know I summoned you with the sounding stone, but have you seen my daughter?
You were the only ones that could help.
Yeah, and to me, I could be wrong, but it looks like, because it's all done in, still shots. Mm-hmm. They look like the old, have you guys ever seen the old Mars Attacks cards? You know Mars Attacks the movie?
Yeah.
It was based on a trading card series.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And they're all like these like painted scenes basically of like humans getting
Abducted
fucking
by aliens.
wrecked. Well, it's Mars attacking. They're getting like it's brutal.
Oh, okay.
It's funny, but it's brutal, and it's a very similar style. I'd be surprised if it wasn't.
I'm sure that's definitely.
They steal everything in this fucking game.
Yeah.
They're not shy about it either.
No.
It's the one game where they're not.
So
I will only accept those endings as the real endings of Silent Hill.
I think that's fair.
And I'll combine all of them together and orchestrate my own.
Any final thoughts on the game? I feel like we've really gone to the moon and back.
We went to Mars and back.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I don't have much else to say.
Yeah, I don't either. I think we said it all.
Yeah.
Again, pretty good game.
I'm excited.
Caveat.
If you appreciate video games, if you're someone who loves playing video games and you like the art form and you like getting the whole context and the history of it, you will really have a good time playing Silent Hill.
If you're one of those dweebs like us, this is a must play, I would say.
If not, stay away.
Yeah, probably don't play it.
Play Silent Hill 2 and play it with the fucking mod that like has touched everything up and made it accessible for modern players.
And just like watch the Silent Hill 1 explained and watch this video and then you'll know everything you need to know.
Yeah.
I'm
I
very
would not fault anyone for being like, yeah, I tried this and it wasn't for me. Because I mean, it is, I would say, grueling at many points.
It's a timepiece.
I called it agonizing.
Yeah, you were really upset for it.
Yeah.
I kind of like that sometimes. I go, you know what, I'm going to get through it.
Yeah.
I need to fucking understand what this is about. And also, I go, you know, I think back to 1999, I probably would have been like, oh man, this
is dope. Yeah.
You know, because I think I'm old enough to like have played a lot of contemporary games. The only reason I didn't play this is I didn't really play PlayStation. I think PS1 games I played like Spyro. I may have said this on the previous episode, but Spyro and Tomb Raider. And Tomb Raider grew into a series that people love.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider 1.
I played it every now and then.
Played it on the Dreamcast.
I played it every now and then as a kid.
Tomb Raider 1?
Yeah.
It is.
It's like the horrible platforming.
Like I had it on the demo disc
so
with Tony
confusing.
Hawk's Pro Skater. You know what I mean?
Rough as hell. And weird. It's obtuse. It's cryptic. You're fighting mummies and dogs and shit.
I'm very excited to play a better version of this game.
Yeah, me too. I think I said I played some of the bad port, the HD remake of
Silent Hill 2.
Silent Hill 2. And even that, I was like, this is pretty fucking sick. Yeah, it's 2 and 3 on the same disc.
Yeah.
I was like, this is good. And I got into a point where I was like, oh, it's getting weird. And I looked it up, and everyone's like, this is the worst version of a great game. I was like, oh, I didn't realize. And I was like, if I thought that was good, I can only imagine, you know,
the actual.
It's because it's very similar to Silent Hill 1.
But better.
A lot of times the second game is the best one.
It feels so much better. It just feels so much better in every way possible.
Especially in that era, simply because, like we mentioned, there was no standardized control scheme.
It got a lot. It was still tank controls. Still felt better. It felt like it was like, okay, we're doing tank controls. let's model the world in such a way where that really works.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the graphics take a couple steps up.
Yeah,
'Cause this is really great.
I love Super Nintendo.
Had a hard time making it.
Nintendo. I love Genesis. I love Dreamcast. N64 and PS1 graphics, I think, are the worst graphics in gaming.
Yeah.
Console
They
gaming
really
history.
struggle. They really struggle.
It's like that jump from 2D to 3D before people really understood how to do it.
Yeah. Rough stuff.
It's pretty rough. I mean, atmosphere-wise, Silent Hill 1, incredible, but like...
Even on, dude.
Some of the later games in those developments, like for both of those, you know what I mean? Like as clearly like the PS2 was out, or you know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
GameCube was out and they were still putting out a couple. Those looked okay.
Yeah.
And those started to look better by the end of like the 64's run, but like you play some really fucking 64 games and they're fucking
But jump onto the GameCube or PS2. Like whip up like Soul Calibur 2. Looks fucking great.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a new game anymore, but it looks great.
It's fine, yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
it's just that I always thought PS1 was very ugly with the texture warping. I
Such
never
a
I know
weird-
it's a technical limitation of the system. It defined everything. Now people use it specifically in horror games to accentuate this otherworldliness.
Yeah,
So
what's
anyway,
that-
we're out of time.
That's right.
We'll see you next time. We've
right.
talked too much.
Thank you.
They're
That was
shutting us,
71 fucking minutes.
they're shutting us down.
All right. Please visit the Patreon, like, subscribe, comment. Peace. PS1 sucks.
I gotta piss.